Hello and welcome back to another Football Commentaries live stream. It is League 2 action once again for this Monday night football as we have a Lancashire derby with Fleetwood hosting Morecambe at Highbury Stadium. Fleetwood have started the new campaign solidly after relegation from League 1. They have only lost one in the league so far, which was away at Wimbledon. A win tonight for Charlie Adams' side could push them as far as 8th in the table. For Morecambe, it has been a disastrous start with no wins from their opening 6 league games. They even lost their opening 5 league games, all by a goal to nil. Last weekend, though, did see them pick up their first points after a hectic 3-3 draw at home to Colchester, but if they want to get clear of the relegation zone, Morecambe need to start collecting points right now. These two last met when they were both in League 1 back in the 22-23 season. The first meeting in that season was a 1-1 draw at Morecambe, but the second clash saw Fleetwood win by a goal to nil in late February of 2023. So, to wrap up the EFL action for this weekend, can Fleetwood or Morecambe take home the bragging rights in tonight's Lancashire derby? Because for Fleetwood, it's always difficult when you're relegated and you have to try and bounce straight back. It's not always as easy as aiming for playoffs and aiming for automatic promotion when you've just gone down, even though you might have one of the stronger squads in the division. It's one of the hardest things in football to build momentum. But it looks like Charlie Adam has made his side, not forget about the relegation, because that's a difficult thing to do, but to almost just park it to a side, understand that it's happened and they can't change it, and just try and move on and try and bounce straight back if they can. Like I say, just one defeat so far in the league. They had a decent little cup run as well in the League Cup. They reached the third round and they were only beaten on penalties by Stoke away from home on Tuesday. So it's a huge achievement for them to show that they can win, because in the two previous rounds before that, Fleetwood had to beat West Brom and Rotherham at home, which aren't, that they're not two easy sides. They're very, especially West Brom, but even so, Rotherham, despite them being relegated themselves last season, they still have a really strong squad. So I think for Fleetwood, the main priority will be to finish as high as they can in the league. Of course, a good cup run breeds confidence, but their full focus now will be on the league. And for Morecambe, something needs to change rather quickly. Just 5 straight defeats to start the season, and they were all 1-0 defeats to the likes of Walsall, Gillingham, Doncaster, Newport and Crewe. But they were able to pick up that point, as we mentioned before, last week when they were able to draw 3-3 to Colchester, getting goals in the 83rd minute and the 88th minute as well. But this isn't going to be easy for them. Fleetwood will fancy their chances here. Fleetwood have played 4 times here now in all competitions at home, and they've won 4 of the 5 so far, and the only game they have lost at home this season was against Aston Villa's under-21s in the EFL Trophy, and that is a defeat that really is not the end of the world for Fleetwood. But in the chat here, we've got Reese saying, hello, up the Shrimps. Who do you support? I do support Stockport County of League 1. I do also support a Premier League side, but the reason I support Stockport County was because it was just a lot more accessible to get to the games. I've been a supporter of theirs since 2018, so it's not like I do have 2 teams technically, but I started going to Stockport County just because it's just more accessible, and I just wanted to go to a football team every week, and the only chance I had was going to a lower league team. And like I say, been a season ticket holder at Stockport County since 2018, so they're the team that I mentioned. The Premier League team, I don't mention it because I commentate on the Premier League quite often, and I don't want people questioning any bias that I might have, even though I do commentate on my Premier League team loads and no one ever questions if I support them. So I must do a decent job of staying neutral, even if I am commentating on my own team. But so like I say, I watched League 2 last season. Stockport County won the League 2 title last season, so I do know about the division. And I remember when we played Morecambe at home, Stockport County, it was right off the back of their points deduction. They got a 3-point deduction last season in April, Morecambe, for failing to pay their players on time. And they had an outside chance of getting the playoffs by that moment, but those 3 points deducted pretty much guaranteed that Morecambe couldn't get anywhere near the playoffs. And with that 3-point deduction last season, they finished in 15th, secured 58 points, winning 17 of their games, and away from home they won 9, collecting 30 points from a possible 69 on their travels, which of course, isn't a bad return, but they'll be looking to try and, finish a lot higher. But if they want to finish higher than 15th this season, they need to turn around their form pretty quickly. They've won just one game so far this season in all competitions, and it was a Wigan win away from home in the EFL Trophy at the start of this month. So they can win games, but realistically they'll want to be winning games in the league and not exactly in the EFL Trophy. I don't think Morecambe will give too many cares about the EFL Trophy, especially with the way they've started the season. They'll want to try and pick up points as soon as possible. It does seem like Highbury is bouncing tonight, as they're just showing a few shots of the home crowd. They're getting up for this Lancashire derby between Morecambe. This is the 12th meeting between the two, it looks like. Fleetwood have won 5. We've had 3 draws, and we've also had 3 Morecambe wins. The last time these two sides met was here, and it was a Fleetwood 1-0 win. Carlos Mendes with the only goal in the 13th minute. He's now at Bolton, and funnily enough, there is no player in the Morecambe squad who is still here that started that last game back in February of 2023. For Fleetwood, they have got 4 players that are still at the club from that last starting 11 against Morecambe a couple of seasons ago now, so plenty of change, and there always is at this level of football in League 2. Yeah, I support 2 teams as well, I'm a Morecambe fan, and Premier's Man United. Yeah, I think, like I say, I think it's just so difficult to, get to Premier League games often, with the price and sometimes the challenges of getting tickets. So, yeah, like I say, I decided to start supporting Stockport County when they were in the 6th tier as well, so I've seen us win, I think, 3 league titles: National League, National League North, National League, and League 2. So I've seen my fair share of league title wins. We're going to go through both sets of starting 11s now, and it's 3 changes for Fleetwood from their last game, which is the 3-2 away win at Carlisle, and it is David Harrington to remain in goal. A back 3, one coming in to the starting 11. That is James Bolton. He was brought in the summer from St Mirren, and he'll play alongside Reece Bennett and captain Brendan Weirdo in the back 3, and then 3 along the midfield. On the right will be Carl Johnston. The left wing back will be Phoenix Patterson, who's played in every game so far this season for Fleetwood, and 3 central midfielders of Danny Mayer, who scored twice last week in that win against Carlisle, and he'll play alongside Elliot Bonds and Mark Helm, who are 2 new signings brought in this summer for Fleetwood Town. Then 2 strikers, it will be Ronan Coughlin, who's an Irish striker, and he plays alongside another Irishman in Ryan Graydon, who's got the 1 goal so far this season in the league, and that came away at Notts County, but he does have 4 in all competitions, as he scored 3 in the League Cup run they've had, where he scored once in the first round against West Brom and twice in the second round against Rotherham. For Morecambe, they are an unchanged lineup from their 3-3 draw last week to Colchester. It's Stuart Moore in goal for back 4. All new signings in the summer of Ross Millen, Rhys Williams, Jamie Stott and Adam Lewis. 2 older midfielders of captain Jan Songo, and alongside him is another new signing of Paul Lewis. He's looking for his 25th goal in this division. 3 behind the striker on the right will be Harvey McAdam, who is formerly of Fleetwood Town. He changed sides in Lancashire, and he'll be coming up against his former side tonight. On the left will be Ben Tollett, who's got 1 goal so far this season in the league, and that was in that 3-3 draw to Colchester. Behind the striker is Callum Jones on loan from Hull, and through the middle, leading the line, brought in from Sutton on a free, and that is Lee Angle, the 30-year-old striker, who's now played for 7 different clubs in League 2. It's his 15th club altogether in his career. Can he finally find a settled home here at Morecambe? But we're about to go underway here. Fleetwood at home, hosting Morecambe, as it looks like their manager, Derek Adams, looks to be in the stands tonight. I'm not sure if that's a ban or just a way of getting a different vantage point, maybe seeing the game from a different angle and communicating down to his bench. But he is not on the touchline at the moment. It'll be his assistant that is going to be giving the instructions out from the touchline, and that is Danny Granger. So, and we're going to get a swap of ends as well after the 2 captains have met in the middle with the referee for tonight of Matt Corlett, and he's got his 2 assistants of Joseph Petit and Carl Buckley, with the 4th official of Edward Duckworth. So soon as we are all in position, Fleetwood have just gathered here in a team huddle before the start to kick off. Morecambe are set in their positions here. And in this Lancashire derby, to end the weekend's action in the EFL, can Fleetwood bounce themselves up towards the playoff spots, or can Morecambe finally get their first win of the league season after 6 without a win so far, losing their first 5 games all 1-0 and then drawing last week to Colchester. So we're just going to wait for the referee's whistle. It'll be Fleetwood to kick off, kicking right to left. It's Morecambe left to right here at Highbury Stadium. Holds just over 5,000, and we're going to be pretty much nearish a sellout. There's plenty of seats full, and they're crowded and packed behind the goals as Fleetwood get us underway here. And it's with their number 5, James Bolton, who looks like he's going to be playing in the middle of the back 3. As Brendan Weirdo sends it down the right side, and the ball into the box, hits the side netting there from Mark Helm, and it's a quick start there from Fleetwood, getting in behind the Morecambe defence there. Brendan Weirdo with the long ball forward, couldn't quite be put in the box there by Mark Helm, who could only hit the side netting. As the goal kick will be taken by Morecambe's number 25, Stuart Moore, who signed a 1-year contract extension at the end of last season, and he's got an option of an extra year come the end of this season if they want to keep the 30-year-old goalkeeper, as his goal kick's headed away there by Bolton, and just inside the Fleetwood half it will be a throw-in on the far side for Morecambe, and it'll be left by their left-back Adam Lewis, and it will be taken instead by their left centre-half of Jamie Stott, who signed here on a free from Halifax in the summer, throws it down the line, header in the air for Fleetwood, and then another header in the air by Bonds. Weirdo then wins another header, all as far as a Morecambe man of Stott, who will let the ball roll for another throw-in, about 10 yards inside the Fleetwood half on that far side, and he's going to replicate the same throw down the line again towards Angle, who's battling for the ball, and he gets it to Lewis, the left-back, tackled strongly by Weirdo, and in the final third it's another Morecambe throw-in. Strong foot in there by the captain, Brendan Weirdo, who was made club captain at the start of this year in 2024. He's now been at the club since July 2022, being brought in from Colchester. He's also got the 1 goal so far this season in the League 2. As the long throw-in into the box, the goalkeeper comes and punches out, and it drops here for the Fleetwood number 2, Carl Johnston. The clearance doesn't go very far, only as far as the Fleetwood left-hand side here, where it's McAdam, the former Fleetwood man, finding Lewis, dispossessed by Johnston, and he kicks it off Lewis, and that'll be a goal kick for Fleetwood. As we're just over 2 minutes in, he's still no shots on goal, but it's Fleetwood 0, Morecambe 0. Of course, with it being a derby, it might get a little bit fiery, but there's no harm in that, as Bolton goes long for Fleetwood up to the halfway line. It's a header away by Stott for Morecambe, headed back forward though by Bonds for Fleetwood. Another header away, that time by Songo for Morecambe. Another header. It's a bit of head tennis at the moment as it falls through for Fleetwood, swept up by Williams, played forward by Millen, in behind the Fleetwood defence where they need to deal with it here, and it's a clearance away by Bolton, and it drops into the Fleetwood midfield here for Bonds, who goes again over the top down the right channel. It'll be given chase to here by Coughlin, but the goalkeeper's there first on the left side of the box to collect for Morecambe. Just a bit scrappy so far in the opening 3 minutes of the game. Neither team really getting it on the floor and playing. A lot of long balls so far to try to catch out each other's defence rather early. Stott again lifts it down the left channel, straight out of play. Thrown for Fleetwood, midway side their own half on that far side. Looks like it's going to be taken by Brendan Weirdo, who's now made over 70 appearances at this level in League 2. The majority of those appearances came during his time at Colchester. Quite a young captain as well, Brendan Weirdo, at just aged 24, turns 25 in November. But it was one of the first decisions that Charlie Adam made when he was brought in as manager of Fleetwood in December of last year. As the throwing goes down the line, last touch off Stott, so it's a throw-in this time midway side the Morecambe half here for Fleetwood. And it's going to be taken by their right wing-back here of Carl Johnston, the Northern Irish right wing-back, who has appeared as high as the Northern Ireland under-21s, scored for them as well once back in March 2022. He's a Belfast-born right wing-back, as it looks like he can launch it long if he wants to. He does have a short option of Helm, but he will throw it into the box here. Header away by Stott, bit of a miscued header. And in the final third, it's another throw-in from Fleetwood here, which again I am assuming will be chucked in long by Carl Johnston. Another key defensive header away there by Jamie Stott. as he's lining this throwing up, and it's into the box it goes, into the near post, can't find Weirdo, headed away by Songo for Morecambe, their captain tonight, as it's out to the left-hand side in the left wing position. It's with Bonds for Fleetwood. He's got an option behind him. If he wants to find Patterson, he'll put it in himself instead. Cleared away on the edge of the area for Morecambe, then helped on once more towards Angle, the striker. Caught late there, but it's an advantage played as he was fouled by Bennett, and then it's pulled back for a free kick. In the end, the referee, Matt Corlett, tried to play the advantage, but there was none there for Morecambe. And Lee Angle there winning the free kick, fouled by Manchester United loanee Rhys Bennett, who had a spell at Stockport County last season on loan, but he only played once, and that was in a 4-0 away defeat to Tranmere. So technically, he was part of the Stockport County title-winning side, but was rarely involved as a free-kick switch gets beyond Johnston quite poorly, and an early ball into the box for Morecambe, and it's just put wide into the near post, and McAdam, against his former side, looking to haunt them early on here. It was a switch ball from the free kick out to the Morecambe left. It shouldn't have got through Johnston. It just bounced in front of him. He misjudged the bounce, and it fell through to the Morecambe left, and it was whipped in early. It went through the legs of Weirdo, and about 12 yards out towards the near post, McAdam beat Bennett to it, and his shot to the near post just went wide as it's a volley away from Songo as the action's back underway here. It's over 5 minutes in, still 0-0. That's the first real chance of the game. As Morecambe win it back on halfway, out to the far side here. It's Jones into Angle. And they start again at the back here with Stott. It's now Lewis going for a first-time switch out to the Morecambe right. It's a bit of a short ball, and it's controlled beautifully there by Danny Mayer, their brace scoring midfielder last week, helping them win that 3-2 game against Carlisle. As he's charged down the left wing into the final third, he's been tracked here, but he can keep it away from Paul Lewis, the Morecambe central midfielder. Ends up going back here to Phoenix Patterson, formerly of the Spurs youth system. Also came through and spent a year at Watford as well. Phoenix Patterson, Scottish former under-19s international for the Scotland youth side. Fleetwood have started again in their back three here with a number 5 of James Bolton. It's now to this near side with Mayer again, the very experienced 33-year-old whose pass forward is very poor, easily intercepted for Morecambe, but they've won it back there, Fleetwood. It's a strong challenge by Bennett on McAdam. They need more of that from Bennett tonight, timing them like that as they've worked to the right side. Johnston finding Weirdo, back inside to Johnston, who's on the edge of the area and he's going to go for the shot, and it's just wide of the far post. A couple of yards wide in the end, but it's not a bad attempt by Carl Johnston. As Weirdo overlapped him, that meant there was space inside for the wing-back, who's just tucked in. And like I say, about 20 yards out, he was able to get the shot off. Closest to him was Stott, who tried to block, and it was Stuart Moore to dive across the goal, but he could let it go for a goal kick. Just over 7 minutes in, Fleetwood 0, Morecambe 0. A shot apiece now, both off target, but both of them not miles away. As for Morecambe, if you include the back end of last season, they've just got one win from their last 13 in all competitions, and that was that win away against Wigan in the EFL Trophy. So, you know, they ended last season poorly, and they've started this season even more poorly. You know, not picking up a win in their opening 6 league games. As Fleetwood go long, it's a flick on there by Coughlin. Can't quite find Graydon, and it's a very hurried clearance out there by Songo. And on this near side, it'll be a Fleetwood throw-in just towards the halfway line. Just looks a little bit panicked there, Jan Songo, the Morecambe captain, who's played under Derek Adams 255 times now. He's worked with Derek Adams, the Morecambe manager at Ross County at Plymouth, and obviously at Morecambe now as well. There's a ball to the near post for Fleetwood. It's just missed there by Graydon, and it goes through for Morecambe, who can try and work it away with a clearance. It's controlled by McAdam, touches loose, it's picked up by Mayer, and Fleetwood can come again, midway side the Morecambe half, in a central area. It's Phoenix Patterson, playing out to the right here to Weirdo. Everyone behind the ball for Morecambe, bar their striker Lee Angle. As Johnston plays it down the right-hand side here. It's a ball into the near post, and it's come off the woodwork and away for a goal kick. I think he was going for a cross there, Rowan and Coughlin, but it almost crept into the near post and into the back of the net. But it's hit the frame of the post instead. But a ball down the right sent Coughlin away, and he whipped it into the near post, and it was just missed there by Graydon. He was having his shirt pulled slightly there by Songo, just needs to be careful. Thanks to everyone who's here. If you could like and subscribe, that'd be fantastic. Just less than 10 minutes in, still 0-0, but a very lively start to the game. As Graydon on halfway heads it forward, but he's holding the back of his head, and the foul's going to go against him there. The Liverpool loanee, Rhys Williams, found guilty of fouling Ryan Graydon, the former Irish under-19 international, Dublin-born striker, was holding the back of his head at the moment. After contact there from Rhys Williams. Don't think there'll be any physios coming out onto the pitch. I think he'll be okay to continue. So he wins the foul and he's back to his feet. The Fleetwood number 7, joined at the start of last season from Derry. This is his first club outside of Ireland for Ryan Graydon, the 25-year-old, making his 40th appearance for Fleetwood tonight. As they've restarted, it's on the halfway line with Rhys Bennett, who's playing at left centre-back tonight. It's now with Weirdo on the right side of the back three. Bond's been closed down by McAdam. He's worked himself to the far side and plays a ball forward, but he's won back there by Morecambe, winning the ball cleanly there through Jamie Stott, and they can't quite play it through for Angle. Poor ball given away there by Lewis. Fleetwood have it back on the far side. Is that a foul? It is. The referee, again, gives Fleetwood the free kick. Morecambe not very happy with that one. They thought that Adam Lewis had got themselves the ball back there and tried to counter-attack on Fleetwood, but the referee just took a couple of seconds and then eventually gave the free kick as Fleetwood build out from their right side here. It's a dinked ball into the box by Weirdo, but no one's making a run there in the box for Fleetwood. And it's straight into the hands of the goalkeeper of Stuart Moore for Morecambe. And again, they go long down the left-hand side towards Lee Angle. Header into the left channel there, where it's just a bit overhit the header. Can't quite find Ben Tollett. And it'll be a throw for Fleetwood, taken quickly and thrown back to their goalkeeper of David Harrington. Also Irish-born, born in Cork, where he spent 5 years of his early career there before leaving to come over to England. Plays football over here. As he clips it towards the halfway line, load of space in the middle, and that's a brilliant touch by Helm to bring that one down. Can he find the pass? No, he can't. Turns into traffic there. Paul Lewis gets the ball off him, and he plays it out to the right to Millen, then back here to Rhys Williams, who will then send it long down the Morecambe right, deep into the final third. The goalkeeper thought about coming, but Rhys Bennett will get there first, and he'll square it to his goalkeeper, who just gets rid, taking no risks, and it's a miscontrol there by Paul Lewis, and Fleetwood have it, and they can bring it forward with Bonds. They've got two options here, and he'll try and play it through for Graydon, who will get there first. No, he won't. Jamie Stott slides in brilliantly, gets a touch away from the striker, and into the gloves of the goalkeeper it goes. It's a good weighted pass, in fairness, there by Elliot Bonds. And Ryan Graydon hadn't done much wrong. It was just a brilliant sliding tackle there from Jamie Stott. Fleetwood have committed a foul on the halfway line, just towards this near side. Rhys Bennett just pulling back the Morecambe number 8 of Harvey McAdam, who spent 2 years at Fleetwood before leaving this summer to join Morecambe. Stott was sliding in. He's definitely got a ball, but did he get the man first? Not too sure, but it's a tackle he felt like he had to make, and he did get there in fairness. As from the halfway line, Rhys Williams will fire this ball across the pitch to the far side, looking for the left-back Lewis. Headed away, though, by Johnston, and it's now with Helm for Fleetwood. Inside, loads of space here for Graydon, whose touch is heavy, and it's taken off him there by Songo, who's then caught late as he plays it away. And I think it might just be a talking to, but that was a heavy one for Jan Songo to take. And I do think Ryan Graydon will get away there with that foul. Certainly a heavy one for Jan Songo to take, who's making his 99th appearance for Morecambe. This is his second spell at the club. Just played the ball there and then followed through onto Songo. So another free kick for Morecambe. Just inside their own half, in a more central area this time. Songo pumps it forward long into the box, looking for McAdam, who heads it into the air, and it's controlled here by Angle in the corner of the box on the right side, being forced away from goal. Finds the right back Millen and kicks it off Phoenix Patterson, and it'll be a throw in the final third on this near side for Ross Millen, who I think will leave it to be taken by Rhys Williams, who might have a long throw in his locker here. You might remember that season where he was used for Liverpool. He made 14 starts for them in the 2020-2021 season. That season where Van Dijk was injured and they had a bit of an injury crisis at centre-back. As he throws this into the near post, the goalkeeper comes and punches away. Drops towards Coughlin, who can find a pass forward here to Mayer, and they've got numbers over here. It's a 2v1. Graydon to his right. Mayer will go on his own, onto his right foot, in the box. Can he get the shot off? Oh, he's hit it right at the keeper. Well saved in the end there by Stuart Moore, but you feel like Danny Mayer's got to score. And it's cleared away. And Fleetwood can come again. Weirdo finding Helm out to the right to Johnston. He's got time to cross it. He'll go low to the edge of the area instead. And then a pass attempted to be played through there by their number 10 and Mayer, but he works it back out instead to Johnston, whose ball's over here, and it'll roll out for a throw-in for Morecambe on this near side in a right-back position. Just too easy there, really, from defending a long throw-in. They were able to counter-attack pretty easily there, Fleetwood. And he took his time to decide when to shoot there, Danny Mayer. And he's just hit it right at the goalkeeper at the near post. And, you know, he's coming off the back of 2 goals scored last weekend, Danny Mayer. But before he scored at the weekend, Danny Mayer, his last goal was in fact against Morecambe, and that was all the way back in April 2023 in the league. So he hadn't scored for quite some time before last week, Danny Mayer. And he should have definitely had one there as well, but saved by Stuart Moore, a 30-year-old who's making his first ever appearance tonight against Fleetwood. Ball lifted forward for Fleetwood, chested down there by Coughlin. Can't quite be taken over, though, by Graydon. Cleared for Morecambe, straight to Fleetwood's back line, where they've got it into the midfield. They were Helm towards the far side, going into his own half and then switching it to the left. It's a brilliant ball, and it's now Rhys Bennett going to Danny Mayer, who's right on this near side. He's got Patterson making a run off him, but goes back inside to his right instead to Bonds. It's now to the right centre half of Weirdo, just a bit behind him, so has to backtrack to get the ball. Goes into his own half now to Bolton. And then back once more to the edge of the area to Harrington. Well kept for Fleetwood. There's Patterson, the number 44, on the halfway line, lifting down the left-hand side. As he kept himself onside there, Coughlin. And can he keep it in? He's onside and he's kept it in. Running towards the byline, into the box, squaring the ball where it can't be finished there. So close for Graydon. It was just too far in front of him where he had to slide and stretch, but couldn't quite get good contact on the ball to send it goalwards. It's now Bonds to bring it forward for Fleetwood. Bundle to the ground there, and that's a foul. Free kick for Fleetwood about 30 yards out. Good running there by Elliot Bonds, and I think he was just nudged from behind by striker Lee Angle. Does seem like it might be quite far out, this free kick, but he might go for an attempt at goal. Stuart Moore's got to set up his wall well, just in case the shot is taken. Not exactly seeing a camera angle from afar yet, so I don't exactly know how far out. It's a 2-man wall, it's about 30-35 yards out. It would take some strike here from Phoenix Patterson to score what would be his first goal of the season. He gets a layoff from Bonds and then he hits it, but straight at the keeper. Low and not well hit. Easy save in the end there for the goalkeeper, who rolls it to the left hip to Jamie Stott, who will bring it forward from the back here for Morecambe. He's got the option in midfield and he plays it forward here, and it's now laid off to Jones, looking for Angle, intercepted by Weirdo, who's quickly there to intercept, and it's now on the right side with Helm, into the space for Coughlin, who's got away from Stott, and in the box on the angle, it's tight, and it's saved again by Stuart Moore with his legs. They're finding a lot of joy down that Morecambe defensive left. An easy ball played in behind Jamie Stott, as he was almost left alone on that left-hand side. The left back, Adam Lewis, nowhere to be seen. And again, Fleetwood just not quite finishing very confidently at the moment. A long throw in from the resulting throw-in. Header away by Stott, still alive in the box. Eventually cleared by McAdam for Morecambe towards Angle on halfway. He won't quite beat Rhys Bennett to it. And it will be Fleetwood to restart again from the halfway line with their loanee from Manchester United. Played to this near side to Phoenix Patterson. Looking to lift it into the box down the left-hand side. Is he onside? He is again. Coughlin Plays it back into Patterson, still in the final third here for Fleetwood. Mayer's overlapping. Fleetwood instead puts it in himself. It's poked away by Songo. Controlled by Bennett. Runs into traffic there, and it will be no foul given, but it's won back by Elliot Bonds with a brilliant interception here. Reece Bennett stayed down after the challenge, and I think Fleetwood are going to... Well, it's not going to be kicked out of play. The play's just going to be stopped by the referee. Reece Bennett feeling the full thunder of that challenge. It was him who instigated it because he was bringing the ball forward. He just slightly overran it there, Reece Bennett. Heavy touch. And he just ran straight into Paul Lewis there for Morecambe. Bit of a nasty one. Bit of an awkward landing as well. I think Reece Bennett will be okay to continue. So it looks like it'll be a drop ball here. I think it's going to be a drop ball for Morecambe. And then they're going to kick it back to Fleetwood in their own half, which is slightly frustrating for Fleetwood because they were well within the final third there when attacking. Well, I'm not too sure, actually. I think it will be a drop ball for Fleetwood, which did seem the fairer outcome of the two, of Fleetwood having the drop ball and not Morecambe. So Reece Bennett will be okay. Both sides just getting back into position. 21 minutes in here at Highbury Stadium. Still 0-0. Fleetwood definitely look the better side and look more likely to score. As we've dropped that ball and we're back underway. Phoenix Patterson one-on-one with Millen on his right foot and then onto his left towards the byline here. Needs to find a pass or a cross. Plays it inside. It's a good pass here to Bonds. Then back out wide to Mayer. One-on-one with Paul Lewis. Playing it into the box for Patterson, who's found himself on the edge of the area, then gets a shot off straight down the middle of the goal. Comfortable save in the end there for Stuart Moore. Just not quite... I mean, they have tested Stuart Moore in terms of he's had to make saves, but they're not the most difficult of saves that he's had to make so far tonight. As Morecambe go long down their right-hand side, it will just stay outside the area, and it's had to be cleared by the left boot of David Harrington, and it will be a throw-in for Morecambe, midway side the Fleetwood half on this near side. Looks like it's going to be a long throw-in down the right-hand side here by Rhys Williams. Into the final third. That's a huge throw. Headed down by Bolton and then cleared forward by Bonds there. Off the face of McAdam. I thought it came off McAdam. No, it mustn't have. What have I just seen? Did it come off Bennett instead? I'm not too sure, but it's a Morecambe throw-in and Fleetwood aren't exactly complaining, so I must have seen that incorrectly. I do apologise. It's a Morecambe throwing on this near side in the final third, so certainly a chance to launch this into the box again via Rhys Williams. In it goes to the near post. It's flicked on towards the middle of the box. It's a header away by Weirdo for Fleetwood. And it back forward here for Morecambe through Jones. It's on this left-hand side now. Can they work across him through Tollett? They can, and the header's won, and it's off the bar. Can be cleared away by Johnston. And it's a let-off for Fleetwood. Despite dominating the last 5 minutes, it's Morecambe who have nearly scored through hitting the crossbar there with the header close range. And they'll look to try and come again here, Morecambe. They've got the ball in the box in the Fleetwood half. So they've got the ball in the Fleetwood half here. It's now on the halfway line with their captain, Jan Songo. So an almost chance there for Morecambe to get themselves ahead, despite really being under the cosh in the last 5 minutes or so. Still with Fleetwood on their far side. Left-hand side with Stott, lifting it into the middle. And it's headed on by McAdam. But chased down here. Can they make something happen through Paul Jones? No, we can't. Outmuscled by Reece Bennett, who gets it to his goalkeeper, who clears it long, deep into the into the Morecambe half, where it's headed on there by Graydon. Can't quite be latched onto by Coughlin. Cleared on the edge of the area by their goalkeeper, Moore. Straight through to the Fleetwood defensive Bolton, who lifts it back forward. And no one will give that chase to. As Coughlin was coming back from an offside position. And it'll be Fleetwood to start again from their back line here with their number 24, Jan Songo, who hasn't scored himself for quite some time. His last goal came in April 2022 away at Sutton. Scored 6 times during his 2 spells at Morecambe so far. 210 appearances now for Jan Songo in this division. As Moore goes long for the goalkeeper. Flicked on again, this time for Morecambe by McAdam. An angle catches out Bolton. Oh no, he doesn't catch out Bolton. It's a foul given against Lee Angle. I think it was given by the assistant referee on this near side. Bit of a let-off there by Bolton. Not the strongest of defending. And Lee Angle put a bit of a shove onto him, and the referee seen it as strong enough to give a foul. Jamie Stott was the one who hit the crossbar there for Morecambe just a minute ago. It was well worked into the box, clipped in, and in the 6-yard box, Stott beat Bennett to the header. And he's hit the crossbar. It was going right into that top left corner. And clattered the woodwork. Both teams now have hit the woodwork. Morecambe hit the bar there, and Fleetwood hit the post early on through Coughlin. As they go along here, looking for Coughlin. He's headed backwards by Songo. Needs to be dealt with here by Millen, who goes down over the challenge. Yes, he does, and he'll win a free kick. Oh, the worst. When you need to sneeze and it doesn't come. I do apologise. I'm a little bit ill at the moment, and if you can tell, I do apologise. And if I keep sniffing, I can't help it. But I hope you are enjoying if you're still tuned in. And if you've got any predictions, let me know in the chat if you want to get involved, or if you're just listening and it's in the background, if you're playing the new FC 25 game or whatever you might be doing on this Monday night. Hope you are enjoying, and make sure you just like and subscribe. Just massively helps me out as Fleetwood attack down the right channel again. It's in the final third, but a lot of work to do here. Back heel by Helm. No one in a red shirt making the run, so cleared for Morecambe rather easily. As far as the halfway line, where Bolton takes it forward for Fleetwood and takes on one man, then plays it out to the right to Johnston, and then into the middle of the park here for Helm. He's got a pass on to Mayer, but he'll go for the shot instead to the near post. And it's gone just wide of that bottom right corner. Pretty comfortable leave in the end there for Stuart Moore, the goalkeeper. I think he had a feeling that that was just going wide of the post. As it's a free kick on the far side, just inside the Fleetwood half here for Morecambe. Just another too physical shove there from Fleetwood, which has given Morecambe a free kick. Morecambe do like the long ball, so it looks like they're just going to try and launch this into the 18-yard box via Adam Lewis, Liverpool-born left-back, leaving Liverpool in the summer to join Morecambe. As it's launched into the box, and it's Williams to head it on. Good 10 yards wide in the end there by the English centre-half. Certainly can win his headers, Rhys Williams, at the height of 6'5". He's got a contract at Liverpool till 2026, Rhys Williams. But he's going to spend this season on loan with Morecambe. It's Harrington, left-footed clearance up to the halfway line, where it bounces past Williams and Coughlin, headed away by Songo. Helped down the right-hand side, straight out of play. Fleetwood throwing in their defensive third here, in almost a left-back position. It looks like it's going to be taken by their number 15 of Rhys Bennett, born in Denton, and has come through the Manchester United Academy. Scored his first senior goal in that 1-1 draw against Stoke in the League Cup, where they eventually went on to lose on penalties last week. Lost 2-1 on penalties. They missed 4 penalties altogether, Fleetwood, which didn't help their case to go through to the 4th round. As they played through the lines here, and they've got it in a bit of space here with Graydon. Out to the left to Mayer. It's now to Patterson, who's one-on-one with Millen in the final third, onto his right foot, crossing it to the far post, where it's a punch away by Moore. A little bit dramatic, maybe could have caught it. Weirdo finds Bonds, who will strike from afar. And again, a couple of yards wide, about 25 yards out, he's hit that strike. Elliot Bonds, who's yet to score this season, scored twice last season at Cheltenham in League One, scoring 2 goals in the campaign, and it was a brace in a 2-0 home win against Blackpool back in mid-February. Plenty of shots being taken here by Fleetwood, but again, a couple of them have been on target, but nothing really challenging the Morecambe goalkeeper at the moment. As he sends the goal kick long down the Morecambe right, headed won by Bonds for Fleetwood, into the air by Williams to get it back into the Fleetwood half. It's flicked down by McAdam, controlled here by Tollett. It's now played out to the right side for Morecambe, seen through by McAdam, who's holding his stomach there. And then he quickly lets go of his stomach when he realised there was absolutely no contact. The ball went through into the Fleetwood defensive third. But I think a free kick has actually been given for Morecambe here. The ball was played down the right. Reece Bennett, just going right through McAdam and actually getting none of the ball. And that's a free kick for Morecambe on their right wing position. A bit too wide for a shot, but a nice angle here for a cross for the visiting side, who've only scored in 2 of their last 5 matches. They failed to score in their first 5 league games, losing all of them 1-0. So it's going to be a left foot in-swinger from Adam Lewis, who does have a decent delivery on him, if he can get this right. And he crosses in. The goalkeeper comes out and catches very confidently. That's brilliant goalkeeping by the Fleetwood number 1, David Harrington, who has now become the number 1 this season, replacing Jay Lynch, who is still at the club on the bench, but they've just swapped roles. Jay Lynch is now the backup goalkeeper, and David Harrington is the number 1, going for a more younger option in goal. 24 years of age, the Irish goalkeeper. This Fleetwood have worked it forward into the Morecambe half. It's overrun though by Mayer, and it's now a chance for Morecambe to try and counter if they can. McAdam lifting it out to the left side, looking for Angle. Weirdo though gets up and wins the header and sends it back to his goalkeeper there of Harrington. It's really good defending from the Fleetwood club captain, Brendan Weirdo. Became new club captain and also signed a new 2-year deal with the club at the start of this year. A lot of responsibility on the youngster's shoulders, but he seemed to have relished in having the captaincy given to him, despite being at quite a young age. As on the halfway line, it's Patterson, the left wing back for Fleetwood. He goes forward here and it's round the corner by Coughlin, finding Graydon, who will take it out to the left wing. He's got the overlap of Patterson. Graydon instead goes for the shot with the right foot on the edge of the area, comes off the chest of Williams and works its way out to the Morecambe left, where it's cleared by Lewis into the Fleetwood half, where it's controlled by Weirdo, and it's been kept in by Weirdo, and he's taken on Lee Angle. That is fantastic defending from the 24-year-old. There's a reason he's club captain, and there's a reason why they want him to stay around, even despite the relegation that they suffered last season, Fleetwood Town. But 32 minutes played in this Lancashire derby, it's still 0-0. Fleetwood probably should be 1-0 up at least. They've had a lot of chances, a lot of shots on goal, but not one that's got beyond Stuart Moore, and it hit the back of the net. As Fleetwood have got it on the halfway line, everyone behind the ball here for Morecambe. So with Phoenix Patterson on this near side, feeds it back into Reece Bennett, the 20-year-old loanee from Manchester United. Time on the ball for the number 15, and he goes to his right here to Bolton. Brings it forward and goes back to his left here to Bennett. Then into the middle in the centre circle to Bonds, who's found himself all alone. And out to the right, but it's a misplaced pass, but it deflects back to Weirdo, who's dispossessed himself, but then uses strength to win it back, but then the touch is heavy, 2 slide in, and it bounces around, and it drops for Bonds, so somehow Fleetwood have come out with the ball there, despite some poor touches. And they've got it on this near side with Mayer. Nowhere near the Morecambe goal at the moment. They're actually on the halfway line with Bennett, again giving time on the ball. And he plays it to the right centre half here, Weirdo. Johnston's got space out wide, and he finds him, drives inside, sends Adam Lewis to the floor. Johnston plays the ball into the box here. It's a brilliant ball, and it's a cut back, and it's Coughlin to shoot, and he's somehow not scored. It's a heroic block by Reece Williams, and somehow this game is still goalless. Brilliantly worked down the Fleetwood right-hand side. Johnston finding the ball through into the area for Graydon, who cut it across goal, looking for Coughlin, and he probably should have had his second goal of the season in the league. And from 6 yards out, he's had his shot blocked off Williams, who was on the floor because he slipped. So it's a rather fortunate block there by Reece Williams, but it's one that he had to make, and he did make. No matter how he did it, it was done. They do concede a corner, but it's a much better outcome than what probably should have been a goal, as it's played short and the ball eventually goes in from Mayer, and the header's in. The goal was coming, and it's come eventually through their number 7, Ryan Graydon. It's his 5th in the season already in all competitions. Really finding his form at the start of this new campaign. And I think it's pretty easy to say that is a deserved lead for Fleetwood Town in this Lancashire derby. A smart corner kick routine. It went short, and then it went out on the angle to Mayer, who just swung it in. And it does look like Graydon. He's onside, 6 yards out, lost his marker of Millen. And in the centre of the box, 6 yards out, a diving header, sending it into the bottom right corner. No chance for Stuart Moore in the Morecambe goal. And with 10 minutes until the break, in this Lancashire derby, it's Fleetwood 1, Morecambe 0. And it's Graydon with the goal. Brilliant diving header. It's what you absolutely love to see. And with those 5 goals, he is Fleetwood's top goal scorer so far this season in all competitions. And again, just Morecambe switching off there. You know, they probably should have conceded from the chance before the corner with Coughlin, with that shot from a couple of yards out, really well blocked by Williams. But to get done by a short corner where they left the man on the angle alone to cross it in, it's poor defending. And they've been punished, but I don't think they can have too many complaints, really, Morecambe. Fleetwood have been the much better side, and the stats really sit in their favour. You know, Fleetwood have had, 11 shots, 5 on target, compared to Morecambe's 2 shots, 0 on target. And we're just getting a delayed restart due to a flare being thrown on the pitch here at Highbury Stadium. So we will get back underway rather shortly. As it's a brilliant cross in, by the way, by Mayer, who was the goal scorer last week. And this time, he is the assist provider. And I think it's just poor defending, really, from Ross Millen, the Morecambe right-back, who was meant to track Ryan Graydon. He just didn't quite get close enough to him as he went for that diving header. You know, you've just got to be tighter to your man. And he wasn't. So once we get back underway, it'll be Morecambe with all the work to do. You know, at the end of the day, how much time do they give Derek Adams? He was only just brought back to the club this summer after he was here previously. Spent the big chunk of his career at the likes of Plymouth and Ross County, Derek Adams. So back underway, and it's Fleetwood trying to attack Graydon, completely swiped out there by Songo just in front of the centre circle. And that should be a yellow card for the captain, and it will be. Maybe a bit of frustration there. A late challenge, you can't really have any complaints there, the Cameroon captain. And of course, Graydon will be full of confidence now. Got the touchdown, got away from stop, and then Songo just said, no, you are not going any further. Even though Graydon was only trying to play the ball out wide, Songo tried to intercept, but he certainly got all of the man. And that is Songo's 4th yellow card of the season. He's an aggressive player, in fairness, and he's picked up plenty of bookings already to start the season. As Fleetwood try and play out to the right side, it's just gone behind the target there of Helm. Bit of a poor pass from Johnson, who clears up the long throw-in that they tried to take quickly there, Morecambe. They've got it back on the left-hand side, and it's a throw-in now for Fleetwood. Last touch off McAdam on the halfway line, far side. It's a Fleetwood throw-in. Just got to try and pick themselves up and go again here, Morecambe. Who, you know, when you lose your first 5 games of a season, you know, you're probably going to be very negative, and the fans are going to be very negative, and that's understandable. But they only lost those first 5 games 1-0. You know, that is agonising to lose so many games just by the 1 goal. But it's also a worry when you're not scoring many, even though they did score 3 in their last game against Colchester. As Rhys Williams caught in possession in his box, and there's a chance here for Fleetwood. It's a deflected shot across goal, and a header towards goal. And it's into the arms of the goalkeeper. It was Mark Helm with the final header towards goal, and it's thrown out by the goalkeeper Moore to Adam Lewis, the left back. Down the left channel it goes. It's a great ball into the final third, and it'll be Bolton to get there first for Fleetwood. Can't quite play it down the line as it's gone out of play. Throwing for Morecambe, taken quickly into the box here for Angle. Trying to work it back out left. He's gone down in the box, and it's gone for a free kick. It's a dive, according to the referee there, from Lee Angle. He gave himself a couple of seconds there, the referee. He's not had a bad first half so far. I'm very quick to, have a go at referees. But he's officiated well so far, and Lee Angle isn't exactly complaining, the Morecambe striker. Let's have a look. He took a touch, and he just tried to play back out wide. And yeah, there's absolutely no contact. He left his foot in there trying to ignite some contact. Good decision from the referee. Yellow card, and Fleetwood go along. Header won by Songo on halfway. Controlled by one of his players, and that is Paul Lewis. Back it goes to Millen, and a big ball forward here towards Angle, who can head it down towards McAdam. Cleared forward by Johnston, midway inside the Fleetwood half, up to the halfway line. Flicked on by Graydon. Quick 1-2 with Coughlin. It's now out to the left to Patterson in the final third. Running at Millen, goes on the outside, clips across to the far post, where he's headed backwards to the edge of the area. Picked up by Bonds on the right-hand side. Re-delivered back in, and another header there by Graydon, who's already scored one tonight, but he sends that one flying over the crossbar. And it remains Fleetwood 1, Morecambe 0, 4.5 minutes left of the first half. And it has been all Fleetwood. Morecambe have played rather, I don't even know how to describe it. It's just pretty sad football. There's barely any attempts to even try and string a few passes together. It's very long ball stuff, and it's nothing sticking up front. And it means that Fleetwood are getting on the ball rather easily and attacking very often. As Bennett heads away, the goal kick drops to Millen. So Morecambe do have it in the Fleetwood half as they play it forward. It's back out wide to Millen through Angle. Lifted down the line here. It's Tollett on the ball. Tries the early cross, comes off Bennett. Final third throw in here for Morecambe. And it'll be taken by Rhys Williams, who does have a long throw on him here. The former England under-21 international. Now at the age of 23. Can they make this one count, Morecambe? They don't exactly deserve to be level, but they would take it if they can do it. Thrown in, flicked onto the edge of the area where it's been played back there by Callum Jones, someone who's been barely involved in the game so far for Morecambe. And Songo, through the press and the lack of options, have been forced to go back to his goalkeeper, Stuart Moore, who's midway inside his own half. He's going to send it long into the air, up towards Lee Angle. Controls it nicely and heads it backwards here to Callum Jones. Now wide again to Adam Lewis. Now Angle. And he's been caught that time. That's definitely not a dive. And that will be a free kick this time for Morecambe. Won't be booked a second time there. And the yellow card will this time go to the opposition player of Mark Helm, who's been subbed off in all of his 5 appearances in the league so far this season. Mark Helm scoring the only goal on the opening day for them in that 1-0 win at home to Grimsby Town. It's his 4th booking of the season as well for Mark Helm. Thank you to everyone who is listening and who is liked and subscribed. It's massively appreciated. I know it's not the biggest game of the footballing season, but I'm glad there's a good chunk of you here listening in. As Morecambe deliver that free kick right into the box. It's not a bad delivery. It's headed across goal by Weirdo, kind of sent it behind the onrushing Morecambe attackers. And he has gone for a throw-in on this near side, but it's a good defensive header, really, in the end, as it's put back in by Millen, and it's gone straight into the goalkeeper. Easy collection in the end for Harrington, who is featured on the bench twice for the Republic of Ireland at international level. He was on the bench twice for them against Hungary and Portugal back in June of this year. So he's definitely got a bright future, Harrington, as Mayer plays it forward and Phoenix Patterson slipped, but he was able to get back to his feet and he plays it into the centre of the park here to the goal scorer Graydon. Slide tackle in there, and that's a foul. Went through the back of him, Paul Lewis. Plenty of cards so far in this game, but Paul Lewis does avoid one this time around. It's a free kick that's right down the middle of the pitch. No real angle here for Fleetwood. They're going to have to probably work it out wide to get across into the box. It's about, again, 30, 35 yards out, too far for a shot. They're going to have to work it out wide to get this ball delivered in. But will they go down the left or right side? It's the right side to Weirdo. Furthest wide here is Johnston, and he has the ball. Goes back into Weirdo. Now into Bennett, who might look to just clip this into the area, and he's going to go for a switch out to the left, but no one's made the run. And he'll bounce out for a Morecambe throw-in right next to the corner flag. It's not the worst result in the end there for the home side, as there's 30 seconds left of this first half. And the throw-in will be left to be taken here by Rhys Williams. There's plenty of working out to do at half-time for Derek Adams and his coaching team here at Morecambe. The throw-in goes down the line. Flicked on. Controlled by Tollett. Wants to go into the middle. It's poked away from him and it's gone forward for Fleetwood. And it's now with Coughlin from afar. He's going to fancy a strike, and again, straight at the goalkeeper. Getting the stats up for Fleetwood. It's looking like a really good half for them, which it is. But a lot of these shots that they've had that have been on target have been really poor. As it is Morecambe on the ball on the left-hand side. We've played 45 and the ball's been kept in by Adam Lewis. And he nutmegs Helm. Adam Lewis in the final third, surrounded by red shirts. Lays it off for Tollett. 4 minutes added on here. Back out wide here to Adam Lewis, who can swing across into the box. It's a brilliant ball. It goes all the way through. And it's had to be chased down here by Millen. He goes backwards here. And it's on the angle for Rhys Williams, who will cross it in first time towards the far post. A header away by Weirdo. Chased down by Callum Jones. Played forward by Stott. That's a nice ball. It's now McAdam away from one challenge of Bonds. And then tries to play a ball through. Cleared on the edge of the area by Bolton. And it's out on the Morecambe right. And they've got it back here with Millen. Heading it to the halfway line to Rhys Williams. Can Morecambe try and get a surprise equaliser? As Williams' pass across the Songo was poor. And he's got there ahead of the sliding Graydon, but he couldn't poke it to stop. And it's now Fleetwood with the throw-in. And it's just unnecessary possession giveaway from Morecambe once again. It's been a really poor half of football for the away side so far. As Harrington calmly plays it away from the onrushing angle. It's now with Rhys Bennett at left centre-back for Fleetwood. Takes it beyond the halfway line and drops it off to his left here to Patterson. Allowed to run forward with it. Finds Graydon, then into the midfield to Mayer. Couldn't quite control it. Goes under his foot. It's now back with Morecambe, but then given away by Tollett. And it's now on the Fleetwood right with Johnston. Midway side the Morecambe half. Just goes back here to Bonds. Towards the halfway line he tries to go, but it's cut out by Angle. And then Bonds takes it off Angle again fairly. And Weirdo will now bring it forward for Fleetwood. Slots it into the right side of the box here for Coughlin, who will strike to the near post. Well saved again by Moore. And he loses out in the end there to Callum Jones, who clears it away from Morecambe. Straight into the Fleetwood half, where they can build again through James Bolton. 2 minutes left of added on time to play. It's still Fleetwood 1, Morecambe 0. A very deserved lead for the home side. As Patterson drives into a central area from the left-hand side. Try to play a ball into the box. It's brilliant. Coughlin has it, and he gets there ahead of the goalkeeper. And he puts it into the back of the net. He's deserved a goal tonight. Ronan Coughlin. He's been a constant threat. And he's been constantly running, dragging this Morecambe back line apart. But what needs to be appreciated there is the assist from Phoenix Patterson. Assisted in their last game against Stoke in the League Cup third round. And that's a brilliant ball. He's onside Coughlin. And he plays it in between Songo and Stott. And about 10 yards out, the goalkeeper's come for it. Coughlin just gets there ahead of him. And he kicks it around the sliding goalkeeper. Underneath his outstretched legs. Tried to make himself as big as possible. He actually lifted it just over his leg there. Ronan Coughlin. That's a brilliant finish. That's his second of the season in the league. It's his fourth in all competitions. They have got both of their strikers scoring early on in the campaign, Fleetwood, and long they wish that will continue for them. As right before the break, they've got a deserved second, and it's Fleetwood 2, Morecambe 0. Both strikers on the score sheet for the home side. First scored by Ryan Graydon, and then the second scored by Ronan Coughlin. And Morecambe look like they're going to fall to another defeat here. They brought in Derek Adams, their manager, again for a third spell. And it doesn't look like it's going to be getting any better for him. And he might be facing the sack soon. Because something's got to change. This Fleetwood, what another before the break. Got 15 seconds left. Bonds just slows it down though. And goes to the left to Bennett. And forward to Mayer on halfway on this near side. Back into Bennett it goes. Now to the goalkeeper on the edge of the area of Harrington. Takes his time on the ball and then plays a low ball, and it's just about gone past Tollett. It was almost a poor giveaway, and in the end it's a free kick for Morecambe because Bonds has had to pull back Callum Jones. Like I said, the goalkeeper almost gave it away for Tollett there, who would have had a one-on-one chance with the goalkeeper, but he went just under his foot and then went through towards Callum Jones, and he would have also had a decent run at goal himself. So Elliot Bonds has just pulled him back, and he's got the free kick, Callum Jones, and he's got Elliot Bonds booked. And just in front of the centre circle, it's a free kick, and this will be the last action of the first half here at Highbury. And it's lifted into the box towards Stott. Header away there by Bonds. Millen will put it in there, and it's headed towards goal. And it's headed wide at the near post. It's a big chance really for Rhys Williams. Should really be working that on target, and he's frustrated with himself there, the 6'5" centre-half. It was put back in from the corner of the box there by Millen. And he's had to just kneel down to get down to the header there, Rhys Williams, but he can't quite work it on target, and that is the last piece of action in this first half as the referee blows for half-time, and it is currently Fleetwood 2, Morecambe 0. It's been a fantastic half from Charlie Adams' side, and they are fully deserving of their 2-goal lead, and it has been a game which has just been all Fleetwood. Morecambe have been really poor, and the goal scoring started with 11 minutes to go till half-time. Ryan Graydon from a well-worked corner putting in a header where he had to dive for it from 6 yards out, putting it into the bottom right corner. It was a beautiful assist from Danny Mayer, and from one beautiful assist to another, Phoenix Patterson playing a ball right through the Morecambe defence into the 18-yard box for Ronan Coughlin, who beat Stuart Moore to the ball in the box, and he was able just to lift it over his left leg and into the back of the net right on the stroke of half-time for Fleetwood to give them a 2-goal lead. But it's not just the 2 goals which have been the big chances for Fleetwood. They've hit the post through Ronan Coughlin. They've had plenty of attempts on target. Yes, a lot of them weren't exactly testing the goalkeeper, but they were making sure they were getting shots off at goal, and it means that at half-time they have quite the lead, and at half-time at Highbury Stadium it is Fleetwood 2, Morecambe 0. You know, if we just look at the stats as well, Fleetwood have had 18 shots, 10 on target. Morecambe have had the 3 shots, 0 on target. Fleetwood have also had 62% of the ball. And, you know, don't get me wrong, a lot of those shots for Fleetwood have been from quite long range, but they have worked them on target. But like I said, they've not been exactly testing Stuart Moore in the Morecambe goal, but the stats are heavily in their favour, and, you know, the game replicates the stats. You know, it's just been Fleetwood dominance. They've been playing with a bit of a swagger, a bit of a confidence in them. You know, they've played 2 games at home so far this season, Fleetwood in the league, and they've drawn one against Gillingham last time out, but then they've also won against Grimsby on the opening day. They've not actually conceded here in the league so far this season in their opening 2.5 games, which is always a good way to start your home campaign. And, you know, alongside that, they've also picked up 2 wins in the League Cup at home against West Brom and Rotherham, which are 2 brilliant wins for a team like Fleetwood, who have been relegated just as early as last season. But if it is half time and you're thinking about just, you know, departing for half time, maybe have a scroll on TikTok or have a look through Twitter, make sure you do return for the second half. You know, you'll never know what might happen in that second half. We could get a Morecambe comeback out of nowhere, or we could get some more Fleetwood goals. So if you do leave, make sure you do come back for the second half. Like I say, it's not exactly a stream you need to watch. It can just be one you put in the background. You don't need to have, you don't need to be looking at my face while I commentate. Like I say, I know the new FC 25. It's not even that. It's FIFA in it. I don't like the new name. I know it's not FIFA anymore, but that's what I always called it. You know, I know the new FIFA game was out this weekend. So if you're just starting up your ultimate teams and you don't really want to be concentrating on my face, like I say, just put me on in the background. You know, put me away. Just make sure you can hear me. And then, yeah, like I say, you know, that's how we do it. You know, you can do 2 things at once, listening to me and doing whatever else you might have planned on this Monday night. But for these Morecambe supporters, it is a 2-hour round trip for them, an hour there and back, even though it is a Lancashire derby. And at the moment, they won't be pleased. It's just so much long ball, and they're not winning any of the second balls. You know, if there is any knockdowns, which there is more often than not, and Lee Angle isn't exactly winning all of the first balls, but even for any of the second balls, you know, they're not even winning any of them, which is really poor. You know, if you're playing a long ball system, you really need to be able to win the second ball. That's what you base the game off. And if you're not winning the second balls and you're leaving yourselves quite vulnerable in the midfield, then you can get run over. And Fleetwood have done just that today. I've been really impressed with Charlie Adams' side, who retired a couple of years ago and started his coaching career as the Burnley under-21s assistant, and then left that job to bring to come to Fleetwood. And this is his first proper senior management role. This is his 32nd game. 10 wins, 9 draws, and 12 losses. So not exactly the worst record really for Charlie Adam. A lot of those games as well was at the end of last season where they were fighting from relegation. In those 23 games he took charge of in League One for Fleetwood, they won 6, drew 7, and lost 10, picking up 25 points from a possible 69. That's not the end of the world statistics. It's just, of course, Fleetwood had quite a poor start to the last season, which left them scurrying for points. Fleetwood didn't win any of the first 8 games last season in the league, drawing twice and then losing 6 all in a row. So it was definitely the start of the season which let Fleetwood down. They were never quite able to recover. But this time around, they're having a more positive start to the campaign, currently sitting 8th with this result. Just one defeat so far in the league, which came away at Wimbledon, which isn't an embarrassing place to lose. No, it's a very difficult place to go to, Wimbledon. And I don't know if any of you have also seen the Wimbledon pitch from the floods. The Wimbledon pitch has been completely ruined, especially one corner of the ground where it's just become sandy, and it's not even just saying this to take the mick or anything. It looks like bunkers in golf. The ground just got caved in a little bit, and it's just all sandy, and it's quite the worry for Wimbledon, who have got to look for other ways of getting their games played, because they were meant to play Newcastle tonight. Tomorrow. I think they were meant to play Newcastle tomorrow night in the League Cup, but they've had to get that game moved to next week, and they were having to play the game at Newcastle instead of their home ground. So let's hope that Newcastle give all the gate receipts and all the money made from tickets for that game to Wimbledon to hopefully help them get the pitch sorted as quickly as possible. But I'm hearing as well that that they are looking to try and find a ground to share with another team just for now, just as a short-term solution, because like I say, that pitch for Wimbledon is not in the best of states after the heavy rain last night, especially in London. But if you are in the chat and you've got any questions or anything you want to discuss, or any half-time predictions, possibly any predictions for full time, please let me know. And whilst you all do that, I'm expecting to see loads of comments in the chat. but while you think about commenting, I'm going to quickly just go and get a drink, and I'll be back in a minute's time. And then when we come back, we'll discuss the second half, possible changes that both teams can make to try and either keep the game the same, because that's for Fleetwood, they don't want anything to change, or what can Morecambe do to get the game changing and going in their favour instead. So don't go anywhere, I'll literally be back in a minute's time. I'm back. As the second half will be coming up in a couple of minutes' time. We did have a good 4 minutes added on there, so we'll just kick off just a little bit past 9 o'clock. And just a genuine question as well, was there any buffering in that first half? If any of you could let me know if there was any buffering, then that would be great, because usually, every stream I have an Ethernet cable going from my PC to the internet, because without it, the internet's just not great. From my room to where the internet is, and I forgot to have it in. I've only just put it in now, so if there's been any buffering, if you could let me know. If there hasn't, then that's been brilliant. But yeah, silly me forgetting to put the Ethernet cable into the internet, but I've done it now, so it's okay. I didn't even notice. It's one of the first things I usually do when getting ready to start streaming. But like I say, let's have a look at what both teams could do. For Fleetwood, it's more of the same. They do have a couple of options off the bench. I mean, they've got the central midfield option of Matty Virtue, who they brought in on a free from Blackpool after being released from the League One side last season. He's a very tidy footballer. He had started the last 2 games against Carlisle and Wimbledon. They've also got 2 striking options as well, which I don't think they'll need at the moment, because their 2 strikers at the minute have been absolutely brilliant, scoring the 2 goals. But they do have Cian Harrett, who is on loan from Huddersfield, who I found out actually was banned from football in 2024 in February, due to placing 484 bets on football matches between June 2020 in 2023. I do believe some of them were also included in the teams he was at during those times, but hopefully he shrugged off that ban and got it out of his head, and he can have a successful loan spell here at Morecambe. And they've also got Mipo Odubiko as well, who they brought in on a free as a striking option from Maritimo B side in Portugal. He is an Irish international striker. He's born in Dublin. He played for their under-21s, and he spent a year at Manchester City from 2015 to 2016, then spent 3 years at Manchester United, then 4 years in West Ham, when he eventually went last season to play in Portugal, but he's quickly returned back to England, and he's now spending the next chunk of his career here at Fleetwood Town. So a couple of striking options there for Fleetwood and a midfield option, but again, I don't think they'll need the striking options, because Coughlin and Graydon have been so good so far, and I believe for Morecambe, they could do with making a lot of changes, and the one place they've really struggled so far is in the middle of the park, and they don't actually have an out-and-out centre midfielder to bring on off the bench, which is a little bit of a worry. They've got 3 strikers of Hallam Hope, who they brought in on a free from Oldham. They've got Marcus Dackers on loan from Salford, who is 6'7", so he could bring maybe something different to the game. Apparently, he had a great, what's the word? My brain is all over the place. He did well coming off the bench in their last game against Gillingham in that 3-3 draw. They've also got Jordan Slew as well, who's another very experienced striker at the age of 32. And he's yet to score this season for Morecambe. And in fairness, they haven't exactly scored many goals themselves this season. It must be said they've scored 5 in all competitions, 3 against Colchester, and then the 2 away in their win against Wigan in the EFL Trophy. So it's not exactly they've exactly been scoring goals for fun so far this season, Morecambe, but that could change in the second half, and they need it to be changed in the second half if they want any opportunity of getting anything from this game. So, second half is about to get underway. In a couple of minutes' time, Fleetwood lead 2-0. 2 really good goals as well, and they were very worthy of their 2-goal lead, even though one of them came right before half-time through Ronan Coughlin, who gets just his 6th Fleetwood goal since joining on a free in January from Waterford in Ireland, a place where he got then promoted in 2023 from the second division of Irish football. And in that season where he got Waterford promoted, he scored 35 in 33 league appearances. So at the right level, he can certainly score goals, Ronan Coughlin, and he has tonight. He's now got 4 for the season in all competitions, as it looks like Morecambe are going to make, I think they're going to make 3 changes, possibly even 4. Which is a statement from Derek Adams, who, again, wasn't on the touchline in the first half. He was up in the stands, and the instructions from the sidelines were given out by his assistant, Danny Granger. Trying to see exactly how many subs they've made and who's coming off and who's coming on. So 2 changes of Lee Angle, the striker, and the number 14 of Rhys Williams, and he's been replaced by centre-half Caden Harrick and striker Jordan Slew. So I think it's just the 2 changes, but it looked like there was more. But I think it's just the 2. But I'll keep you updated. It's Morecambe to kick off, kicking right to left, Fleetwood left to right. Morecambe go long and lift it down the right-hand side here from the kick-off. Header away there for Fleetwood by Rhys Bennett. There's definitely made more changes because Marcus Dackers is on as well. So try and find out all of these substitutes from Morecambe. As there is Jordan Slew, the striker, playing it backwards here to the right-hand side. It's now back with the goalkeeper Harrington for Fleetwood, given away there by Morecambe. As they have made 4 changes. Wow, that's a lot of changes. So Jordan Slew has come on, and so has Marcus Dackers and Caden Harrick, and also number 23 David Tutondo, and they have been replaced Rhys Williams, and they've replaced Harvey McAdam, Leah Angle, and Callum Jones. So 4 changes for Morecambe at half-time by Derek Adams. Hopefully those 4 changes can really make the difference as Tutondo gets it to Slew via using the number 18 of Ben Tollett, who I think is quite lucky to still be on the pitch. He's done very little in that first half. The Morecambe number 18 as the ball in the box is really well caught there by Harrington, but he collides with his centre-half there of Rhys Bennett. The referee quickly waves on the medical staff. Ball crossed in early there from the left-hand side there of Morecambe. And he's been pretty confident coming out for a lot of the crosses so far in this game. David Harrington. As they are trying to get towards both players with just the 2 medical staff they've got. Looks like both will be okay to continue, just needed a minute to regather their bearings and get back up to their feet. The goalkeeper is already up to his feet after collecting and catching put together. That's how you say it. Collecting. It's a new word. He's back to his feet after collecting that cross. And Rhys Bennett was also trying to defend the ball in, and Harrington's kind of gone through him to catch it. As they're just showing there that I think Fleetwood have had the most shots for a while in the first half in the top 4 divisions. Like even more than Manchester City and Tottenham have had in games in the recent past. And it was a lot of shots, 18 altogether for Fleetwood. As we're back underway, both players back to their feet and playing as Harrington goes long and the ball goes straight into the Morecambe 18-yard box, and it's caught by their goalkeeper of Stuart Moore, who throws it out to the right side here to Songo, who's now playing on the right side of the back 3. Surprised they brought off Rhys Williams because he had that long throw-in in him, as it goes under Dackers' foot, and it's now picked up by Slew. Pass deflects almost into the path there of the number 17 of Paul Lewis, but it's just been intercepted, but then given away again poorly that time by Mayer. Needs to be doing better than that for Fleetwood in the midfield to keep the ball ticking. Slew from the right wing, playing it through into the box on the right-hand side. There's a slide tackle in, but there's an offside flag up as well. Free kick for Fleetwood, just inside their 18-yard box. Just towards the left-hand side. Paul Lewis again, making the run. But not quite able to keep himself on side. As last season, Fleetwood's attendance in the league was just over 3,400. It can hold 5,300, so a couple of thousand empty seats and spare standing area space. But maybe with a good run in the league this season after promotion, they might get a few more supporters back into the ground, if possible. As Morecambe, 5 minutes into the second half, have got themselves a throw-in the final third, and it's going to be a long one. They don't have Rhys Williams, but they do have Adam Lewis to take instead from the left-hand side, just coming across here. Adam Lewis throws it in. It's a high one. I think he's almost misthrown that. Slipped out of his hand. It's an easy clearance there for Patterson. But it's played back to the halfway line through Songo, and it's now with Tutonda. Going to go to a switch out to the Morecambe left. It's a high ball. Header won by Weirdo. It's only far as Lewis. Back out to the left here to Tollett. Can he get a crossing? Plays it back to Adam Lewis, who then gets a left foot cross, and it's a dangerous ball in. And the header towards goal is straight to the goalkeeper. Needs to be working it into a different area from the header that time. It's Fleetwood on the ball in the goalkeeper's hands. He rolls it short here to the number 5 of James Bolton, who started his career at Macclesfield. Just spent the 1 year in Scotland last season before leaving to come back to England to join Fleetwood this season. It's his first ever League 2 campaign. Played the majority of his time in League 1. James Bolton. As on the halfway line, just towards the left-hand side, it is a Fleetwood free kick. Where it'll be Bonds. He wants to try and go forward, but he goes to his left instead to Bennett. He will then bring it forward, midway side the Morecambe half. He's still allowed to bring it forward and lays it off to his left now to Mayer. Gets the overlap of Patterson, but then drives inside himself. Mayer into the box now to Graydon. Keeps it away from Tutonda. Brought down in the box. Referee says no. Phoenix Patterson now on his right foot in the corner of the box. He does shoot towards the near post. Straight down the throat of the goalkeeper again. Easy save in the end for Moore. And he'll roll it to his left now. To Tutonda, who will go down the left-hand side. It's a good ball to Slew. Touch isn't great, but he can work it to his left to Lewis. And then it's back inside now here to the number 12 of Caden Harrock, who is labelled as a centre-half, but looks like he's playing centre-back in this second half as the ball's in the air, headed forward to Dackers, back out wide right here to Paul Lewis, but the pass out wide right is cut out by Phoenix Patterson, who in a left-back position just needs to get rid, and he lifts it up the field just over the head of Graydon, but then volleyed out of play by Songo. And it's a throw-in for Fleetwood on that far side, midway side their own half. Just needs to be a bit more composed than that. Jan Songo just almost let the ball bounce off his foot, and away it went for a throw-in. As Fleetwood have another throw-in. Bennett that time being closed down and tackled by Dackers. Just needs to be careful. They don't want to be giving away the ball there in the defensive third there, Fleetwood. As the referee is just telling Phoenix Patterson to take the ball back a couple of yards to take the throw-in from further away. Just needs to be careful he doesn't get booked here. Phoenix Patterson, we know how the referees can be this season with stuff like that, as he throws it backwards to Rhys Bennett towards the corner flag here. Clears it, cannons off Dackers into the air. It bounces, and it's headed forward, then played forward again for Morecambe. Cleared across the pitch by Bennett, not the greatest of clearances, and Adam Lewis can see behind for a throw-in in the Fleetwood half, so still with Morecambe in the momentum, even though they've had a lot of the ball in the second half, they've not done really much with it at all. It's Harrock, long ball up towards Slew. Header away by Bolton. Chested down by Coughlin. All as far as Paul Lewis, who sends it back to Songo. Plays it across the back three. And it goes through to David Tutonda, who came through at Cardiff. Signed a 1-year contract extension at the end of last season. The 28-year-old. Lewis down the left channel for Slew. Has he got him behind Weirdo? He has. Slew, can he get around Weirdo in the box? No, he can't. It's really physical defending from the centre half, and he's won a free kick as he tried to turn Slew. It was brought down to the ground by the striker, and that's very good defending from Brendan Weirdo. 95th appearance for Fleetwood tonight. The club captain just did not allow Slew to get around him, used his body well, and fell to the ground, I think looking for the free kick, but he certainly won it. And it just relieves the pressure for Fleetwood, who have allowed, I don't know if they've allowed Morecambe to have the ball in the opening 10 minutes of the second half, but that's how it's gone so far. Long ball forward, headed on by Graydon, cleared by Stott for Morecambe. Given away, though, in the midfield. That's pretty poor, that for Fleetwood, by Mayer. It's now with the right centre-half of Songo. Millen trying to lift it down the right-hand side. It's not even deflected out of play. It's a really poor ball, that by Ross Millen. Couldn't get it through to Ben Tollett. And it goes out for a throw for Fleetwood on the far side. Needs to be passing better than that there. Ross Millen, who's not really had a great game at right back for Morecambe. As he heads it forward here for Tollett, for Paul Lewis, who then has his ball cleared away. And it's now a Morecambe throwing on the halfway line on that far side. As Tollett gives it away on the halfway line to Bonds, who overhits a touch and gives it back to Morecambe through Jamie Stott. That was a chance. He was caught on his toes there, Tollett, as they go long, and Slew heads it in behind for Dackers, who gets there ahead of the Fleetwood defender. And Dackers puts a low ball to the edge of the area where Adam Lewis gets onto it and strikes. And it's blocked behind by Weirdo. And that's a corner on the far side for Morecambe. Well played there by the away side, actually looking like they could do something in this game. Reece Bennett was the one who couldn't quite stop the cross in there from Dackers. And that's probably going in without the block. I don't know if the goalkeeper's getting to that strike from Adam Lewis, who will take the resulting corner. It'll be a left-footed in-swinger here from the former Liverpool man. And in it goes towards the goalkeeper, who's able to catch it whilst almost falling to the ground. And that's brilliant goalkeeping. He's had a good game so far. David Harrington, who has played all the minutes in the league. And it's been Jay Lynch, the backup goalkeeper, who has played every game in the cup competitions so far. As Fleetwood play out from the back with their goalkeeper, Harrington. Being closed down by Dackers, but can play it forward here to Bolton. Then to the left centre-half of Reece Bennett, who turns away from Dackers and goes back to the edge of the area to Bolton. Who left-footed, tries to switch out to the right. And it finds Johnston, headed it back to Weirdo, who sends it over the head of Adam Lewis. Back to Johnston, who heads it forward himself. And can he get the return ball through? He can. He gets the flick on from Helm. Johnston, early ball, and it's a low one to the 18-yard box. It's away by Songo. And it falls it to Harrock. It's now in the midfield to Tollett. Lewis, lifted ball down the middle of the pitch. Dackers will chase it. Bennett will read the bounce, but his header out wide drops to Tollett, who is tackled well there by Bennett, sliding in. And in the final third, it's another throw in here for Morecambe on this near side this time around. But another chance for a long throw in for Adam Lewis. And we're going to get the first Fleetwood change of the game as well. We had 4 from Morecambe at half-time, and they have played better this second half. They've been the team with the majority of the ball. So we're going to get 2 changes, in fact, for Fleetwood. The first one will be their number 10, Danny Mayer, who almost scored his 25th goal tonight in this division, but had a shot saved in the first half by the goalkeeper Moore. He'll be replaced by the number 8, Matty Virtue, who we discussed at half-time. He's a very tidy midfielder, came through at Chelsea, also had an 11-year stint in Liverpool's academy. And the second change will be a like-for-like swap up front. The goal scorer of the second, Ronan Coughlin, will be replaced by number 9, Cian Harrett, on loan from Huddersfield. He is yet to score so far this season for both Huddersfield and Fleetwood, as the long throw-in is not dealt with here by Fleetwood very well. Eventually it's going to be taken away on the left-back position by Phoenix Patterson, who goes forward and down the line here to Harrett, who will take it down the left wing. He's got runners off him, and he'll play it into the space here for Graydon. In the corner of the box on the left-hand side, plays it behind him to Patterson, who will run here at Harrock, goes around the outside of him, and puts a ball in. It's punched away by Moore. It will drop to the edge of the area here. Can they get a shot off through Johnston? Tries the 1-2 with Helm, and it's come off for them. Harrott looking for the run of Patterson, for the run of Johnston in the penalty spot. Cleared though, couldn't quite get it off. When they work it down the right again. To Virtue, whose cross in the final third is blocked off by Adam Lewis. And on this near side, in the final third, it's a Fleetwood throw in this time. We've just got over half an hour left to play here in the Lancashire Derby, the first of the season. Fleetwood lead 2-0. Morecambe have definitely looked slightly better in the second half, but they couldn't have really done much worse than the first half. Long throwing into the box to the near post. Header away for Morecambe by Harrick. And it's now Tollett to bring it forward. A bit of space for him in the middle of the park. Plays it out to the right here to Jordan Slew. He's got the overlap of Millen. As they're in the final third, he finds Millen, who crosses into the 18-yard box, and it almost falls onto the foot of Tollett if it wasn't for a very key header there by the number 7 of Graydon, who was getting back doing his defensive work for Fleetwood. And they'll now bring it forward with Harrott. He will go for an early strike, and it's had to be tipped behind the post for a corner by Stuart Moore. Straight off the bench, looking to get his name on the score sheet for the first time this season. Kean Harrott. He was driving forward with the ball. He had a couple of options left and right, but about 25 yards out, just to the left-hand side. He had a shot across goal, and he's forced to save there by Moore, who's made plenty of saves so far tonight, despite conceding so many. He's really been worked hard tonight, Stuart Moore. Out-swinging corner goes in from Patterson. It's a header that goes away from goal by Bennett. And it's now with Morecambe with Dackers down the right side for Slew. Slides in and wins it there on Johnston, but then can't quite win it on Fleetwood's number 6 of Elliot Bonds. And it's gone all the way through to the Morecambe goalkeeper. So it will be the away side to bring it forward once again. That's an early crossing from Adam Lewis to the far post. It goes behind Marcus Dackers, and it will be kept in by Millen, well, momentarily until he slides in and kicks it out of play for a throw-in eventually given to Fleetwood Town. It's one back for Morecambe, playing in the middle of the park, but then hurried away by Bonds. Oh, as far as the halfway line, though, for Morecambe, who has it now with Jamie Stott. Loads of time on the ball here for their number 6, their new number 6, brought in from Halifax in the summer. It won the FA Trophy with Halifax 2 seasons ago, Jamie Stott. Adam Lewis. 1-2 there with Harrick, and then a cross to the far post, and again, really well caught by David Harrington. And they're just not doing enough for a goal so far, Morecambe. They're getting the crosses in the box, to be fair to them. But it seems like every cross they're putting in goes into the gloves of David Harrington, who is wearing an all-purple kit tonight, in between the sticks for Fleetwood Town as they play out from the back. And it's with their goalkeeper here of Harrington, who's got it with his feet. Clips it long to the halfway line, headed down there by Harrott, and it can be kept alive by Helm despite battling with 2 Morecambe players. It's now with Johnston. Forward it goes here to Graydon, who charges beyond one Morecambe player, then tripped by the second one, and that'll be a free kick for Fleetwood, really well won, and that will be a yellow card there for Ben Tollett, the Morecambe left winger, who played the last 4 years in non-league. Spent the second half of last season on loan at Chester in the National League North, and also played on a loan with Kidderminster as well. But getting his break in the Football League, and he's been very quiet tonight so far. Ben Tollett did score in that draw last week against Colchester. But nevertheless, it's a well-won free kick there by Ryan Graydon. And literally right bang in the middle of the Morecambe half, Fleetwood have this free kick, and they go back to the right centre half to Weirdo. Now out wide to Johnston. Wants to go forward, and he eventually plays it forward here to Virtue, and then back to Johnston. Back once more to Weirdo. Forward it goes, flicked into the path of Virtue. It's brilliant football. Virtue on his left foot, plays it to his left here. On his right foot, Helm will strike it and drags it wide of the left post. Pretty timid shot in the end by the number 17 for Fleetwood, Mark Helm, who they brought in for an undisclosed fee from Burton Albion in the summer. Mark Helm spending the majority of his youth career coming through at Manchester United. And then the switched ball there by Slew towards Songo at right centre-back was hit very hard and very high. And his arm was up for a good 10 seconds there from Jordan Slew, apologising for that crazy switched ball, which has given Fleetwood possession in the Morecambe half with a throw-in. And they've thrown it into Graydon, who's got so much time there on the ball in the middle of the park. It's ended up going back into the Fleetwood half here with Weirdo, 25 to play here at Highbury. Fleetwood 2, Morecambe 0. Now with the left centre-back of Bennett. Left-footed ball into the channel, finding Harrott. He tries to play it through for Helm in the area, and he'll get to him on the byline. Holds it up, pulls it back, Virtue with the shot, well blocked by Harrott. And then sliced out of play for a corner for Fleetwood. Not the best of defending there in terms of a clearance by Paul Lewis. And it's going to be a Fleetwood corner on that far side. It looks like it's going to be one win from their last 14 in all competitions for Morecambe. It's been a horrid start. It's been a painful one for the fans. And no matter what division they've been in, if that's League 1 or League 2, Morecambe have finished in the bottom half of their table in 8 of the last 10 seasons. So they don't exactly have successful seasons year on year. The odd promotion here and there, but mainly it's bottom half finishes. As the corner goes to the far post, but back in by Hellman. The header towards goal. Just goes wide of the far post. Close, but not close enough there for Fleetwood. It was a good ball back into the box there by Helm, who was just peeled alone to the far post. Recycled it back in, and the header towards goal there by their central centre-back of James Bolton. Just went wide of the left post. Morecambe have gone long, but they've given it straight back to Fleetwood. It's a long ball by Fleetwood over the top of the Morecambe defence, but no one's making a run there for the home side. So it's Morecambe to have it back, to build from their own half with their centre-back of Jamie Stott. But for Fleetwood, they had failed to win in any of their last 3 against Morecambe before that last meeting back in February 2023, where they were able to win by 1-0. Morecambe still have it with their left centre-back here of Tutonda. Forward to the halfway line, taking on the turn nicely by Tollett. Keeps it away here from Bonds. Then into his right here to Harrott. Shoved to the ground there by Harrott. See, that's confusing. Harrott and Harrott. But Harrott is fouled by Harrott. Then it's a Morecambe free kick. Just inside the Fleetwood half. Showing that he's doing his defensive work, though. There, the substitute, Kean Harrott, despite giving away the free kick. About 40 yards out or so. Not exactly... it's not exactly a wide angle, but maybe just wide enough for Adam Lewis to swing across in here. Quarter of the game to go. The ball goes into the area. Free header one for Bennett. Away it goes for Fleetwood. All as far as Tutonda. Clips it back into the area. Dackers heads it onto the far post. Headed down by Bennett. Drops for Morecambe where they can't quite lay it off for Slew. Cleared in the end again by Fleetwood, and out it goes on the halfway line for a throw-in for the away side. As for the away side, they've got Notts County at home next, then another home game against Bradford, then they travel to Accrington. No, the games aren't getting much easier for Morecambe. As they attack down the left-hand side, Jordan Slew in the left-wing position. He's got the overlap of Adam Lewis. He'll go onto his right foot and go back instead to Tollett, who on his right foot strikes from afar. Cannons off the back of the Fleetwood man. And it's now back in the Morecambe half with their goalkeeper, Stuart Moore, whose brother Simon is the current backup goalkeeper at Sunderland in the Championship, who had a flying start to the new campaign. Stott goes long for Morecambe, can't quite find the head of Dackers. It's now Mark Helm, who gives it away. And it's Dacker's out to the right now, and that's a brilliant ball. Paul Lewis on the angle, strikes towards goal. And it is right at the goalkeeper. Simply not good enough there by Paul Lewis, who they've brought in this season from Tranmere. Missed lots of last season. Was out from September to October, then November to December. Only managed 5 League Two starts last season, Paul Lewis. And he started 2 times this season, both in the last 2 games. And that shot from him wasn't quite good enough there. As Fleetwood go long to the edge of the area, can't quite be won by the head of Graydon, headed back by Tutonda instead to the goalkeeper. And Morecambe can again build from the back. They go long up into the sky towards Dackers, cut out there, and 2 sliding challenges go in. And it's hard to know who fouled who there. James Bolton was sliding in, not quite sure who the Morecambe man was. It's gone Morecambe's way for the free kick. The ball was free to be won on halfway, and they've both just gone sliding in. Like I say, it's difficult to know who fouls who when they both go in like that. I think the other man on the floor for Morecambe, I think it is Paul Lewis, who we were just speaking about there, about his injury problems last season. Heavy touch from Bolton, he chased it down, they both went in, and they have both been hurt after the challenge. Who's fouled who? I don't think both look great. It's almost a bit of a scissor motion from Paul Lewis, but James Bolton hasn't exactly gone in clean as well. It definitely looks like Paul Lewis has come out the worst of the two. It will be a Morecambe free kick. And the referee, Matt Corlett, just having a word here with James Bolton. And it will be a yellow card for the central centre-back, who's been pretty solid tonight so far, making his first league start of the season for Fleetwood, after being brought in from St Mirren for an undisclosed fee. He didn't seem to complain too much about the decision, though, and the yellow card, so it looks like the referee's got that one right. Like I say, when it happened, I have no idea who fouled who. Like I said, they both just ended up sliding into each other. It looks like Morecambe maybe are going to try and make their 5th and final change. Big thank you to everyone who is still listening in. I hope you are enjoying this live commentary, even though we've not had a goal so far in this second half. So Bolton having to go off the touchline as well, after receiving some medical treatment. So they are without a centre-back at the moment here at Fleetwood. And I think Paul Lewis is also off on the sideline as well for Morecambe. Like I said, it's going to be taken just in front of the halfway line on the Morecambe right. Looks like it's going to be a left-footed ball in from Adam Lewis, who's been putting plenty of crosses in so far tonight, but none of them really resulting in anything dangerous for Morecambe. We've got 18 minutes left to play in this second half, plus added on time. And Fleetwood put the ball into the area towards Stott, who's going to chase it down. He'll keep it in, and he'll cross it, which deflects to the near post, and straight through to the goalkeeper of Harrington. And that's a simple collection for him. Fleetwood have been more than happy to allow Morecambe to have the possession in this second half, because Morecambe really don't look like doing anything with it at all. And yet again, Fleetwood are yet to concede here at home in the league. Conceded a couple in the League Cup and in their defeat in the EFL Trophy, but again, the league is their main priority, and they're exceeding in the league so far. A couple of draws which have held them back from being up towards the top of the table, but they're up towards the playoff spots. As Dackers down the right side there, cut out, but it's pulled back for a free kick there for Dackers. Being pulled back as he played it, and it's pretty much the same position for a free kick than the last one they were given. So it'll be more of the same, I think, for Morecambe to get it in the box. Another double change here for Fleetwood. See who comes off. So, one of the changes we'll see. Number 44, Phoenix Patterson, come off, and so will Mark Helm, so the left wing back, and then one of the central midfielders, and 2 changes. We'll see the left wing back of Mackenzie Hunt come on, and the other change will see Ryan Broom enter the field of play, the Fleetwood number 11, usually a wide man, but can also do a job in the midfield. But I think he'll go out to the I think he'll play in the more central area as Morecambe will lift it in towards the edge of the box, headed on by Slew, and there's an onside there for Songo, who lifts it over the goalkeeper, and Morecambe have one back. The captain, Jan Songo, steps up when needed, and we're just over 15 to play of the 90. Morecambe cut the deficit in half. It was a ball towards the edge of the box. Fleetwood played such a high line that Morecambe couldn't really get it into the area because they would have been offside. But a pretty much free header for Jordan Slew. He just aimed it into the 18-yard box, and just towards the penalty spot, Jan Songo was darted towards it, and he just lifted it over the goalkeeper, who he knows is coming off his line to try and get there before the Morecambe captain. But he's just delicately lifted it over him with his right boot and into the back of the net. I feel like if that shot had gone wide, we may have had a penalty for Morecambe because Songo was taken out by Harrington. But finally, at home in the league, Fleetwood have conceded. And for Songo, it is his first goal since April 2022. He last scored away at Sutton, and he's scoring again. He's almost had to wait. He's had to wait over 2 years for it, 2.5 years, but he's scored again in his career, Jan Songo, and this is an important one. Even though Morecambe still haven't played great, even though they've been the team with the possession, even though they haven't played great, they've got themselves a goal from a set piece. As Daka's on the right wing here, plays it back. First time ball in from Millen, and it's well caught again, this time by Harrington. And it's Fleetwood 2, Morecambe 1. Like I said, I don't think their performance deserves a goal. I don't know if that's being a little bit too harsh, but I just don't think it's been worthy of one. But it doesn't matter. They've got one through their captain, Jan Songo. And Fleetwood go on from the goalkeeper, headed down there by Songo. It can't be kept in by Millen, and that'll be a throw-in on the far side for Fleetwood, midway side the Morecambe half. And they're going to take their time with this. They would have took their time anyway at 2-0, but especially now it being 2-1, they're going to certainly take their time with the restarts of the game. As Hunt throws it into the edge of the area to Harrott, keeps it away here from Morecambe's number 6 of Jamie Stott. He's still trying to win the ball back, but it gets away from him as it's Hunt who plays it forward here. Graydon crosses a header away and out of play for a corner. Felt like he had to just get a header towards that ball there. David to Tonda. And he's done just that. Played for 5 clubs in this division now. David to Tonda, the half-time change. He's trying to get his teammates going to try and get themselves another point. I don't think they'll be able to get themselves 3. But if they could rescue a point from this game, that would be very successful from Morecambe. Even though in the grand scheme of things, it won't help their position in the table. They've got some defending to do now. In-swinging corners to the far post of Fleetwood. Punched away by Stuart Moore, but straight up in the air. And it's headed home. But there's a foul called on the goalkeeper. Very fortunate. He's straight back to his feet. Elliot Bonds, in fact, stays down here for Fleetwood Town. It wasn't a very convincing punch away there by Stuart Moore. He just punched it right up into the air in the 6-yard box. And as he's got back up to do another punch, he's been pushed in the back, in fairness, by Kean Harrott. 2 hands in the back, and I think that's where the foul's been given. But in that melee of bodies, Elliot Bonds has been caught and he's gone to the ground. Chance to break up the play again for Fleetwood, taking their time with this, getting a physio on to check his head. I think there's actually a bit of blood being drawn from his eye. And Morecambe have made their 5th and final change here. Just while we're getting some treatment, the right wing-back of Ross Millen has been brought off for Hallam Hope. Barbados international, former Barbados international. He last played for them in October 2023. He plays for them due to his father having links to Barbados. He also played for England's under-19s international. Came through at the Everton Academy. Hallam Hope, and he's been brought in on a free this summer from Oldham. Yet to score though in a Morecambe shirt. And it's his first minutes in the last 3 games in the league. He was out against Crewe, and then he was on the bench against Colchester without coming on. But he's back today, Hallam Hope, who's just getting a few instructions there from Jan Songo, the man who's got Morecambe well and truly back in this game. It's a brilliant header forward there by Jordan Slew, but the fact he's been allowed to head that completely unmarked is not very good defending, and it's brilliant forward play by Jan Songo just to beat the goalkeeper to the ball, lifting it over him, hitting the back of the net. And it just makes these final 10 or so minutes for Fleetwood a very nervy one, very awkward. As Elliot Bonds is still getting treated for this cut to the eye during that passage of play from the corner for Fleetwood, getting a bandage strapped around his head. As we get back underway, Bonds isn't back on the pitch yet. It's Harrington, as Moore gets it to Dackers, and it's headed out of play for a Fleetwood throw-in midway inside their own half on this near side. 3 points off safety in the end last season. Fleetwood finished on 43 points and Burton ended up on 46, and they survived, but they were well clear at the bottom side. Carlisle clear by 13 points, as we're going to get a yellow card here. Carl Johnston taking too long to take the throw-in for Fleetwood Town. And it's going to be a yellow card for the Northern Irish fullback, Belfast-born. Making his 95th appearance for Fleetwood, joined in 2018. Now just the age of 22, looks like a brilliant wing back at this level. Now Bond is back on the pitch on the halfway line, laying it out to the left, but no one's there. Harrott will chase it late, but Songo will see it out for a throw-in. Throw back to the goalkeeper, and Morecambe just need to get their momentum built up again. Just lost it a little bit. A few stoppages are put in play from Fleetwood as the ball out to the left goes towards Adam Lewis. It's been kicked away there by Johnston, who's gone down after he feels like he's been caught by Adam Lewis. So that'll be, I think it'll be a throw-in for Morecambe. I don't think he'll be punished there. I think Johnston just ran across Lewis and they've just caught him accidentally there. But again, it's another chance here for Fleetwood just to kill a bit of the momentum. But it's not like Lewis is exactly telling Johnston to get on with it. There must have been some genuine contact there. Long throwing into the box, helped on by Dackers, cleared to the edge of the area, poked back in the box there for Morecambe, and it drops here to Mackenzie Hunt, who clears, but there's a foul on the edge of the area there on Elliot Bonds, and that will be a free kick for Fleetwood, who are defending well at the moment with 8 to play. But they need to be careful because, in fairness, the Morecambe goal came from pretty much nowhere. There's Weirdo forward. Poor giveaway, but the touch is poor there by Harrock, and it's now Virtue. Goes to the left through Graydon to Hunt, who in the box on the left-hand side, crosses, it deflects, and it's a corner for Fleetwood on the far side. Really poor touch there by Caden Harrock, who joined at the start of this year from QPR. Came through at QPR for 8 years. Before that, he was at Brentford for 5. It just allows Fleetwood to get up the pitch, try the cross, and get the corner. Just quite easily avoidable, really. But they're going to have to defend a bit more bravely this time. Morecambe as the ball to the near post can't be glanced on. It's put into the hands, actually, of Harrington. It was more just looped in the air off the head of Graydon. Morecambe want to play quickly, and it's rolled out to the right-hand side with Tollett on the halfway line. He wants to try and play it forward. He goes long up towards Dackers, the 6'7" giant. Headed away by Johnston instead. Goes towards Tollett. Kicked out of play by Hunt on the halfway line, and it's a throw for Morecambe. Yellow card. Not quite sure who the yellow card's for there. think there was an off-the-ball foul. Yeah, Hunt just pulling back the person on the right wing for Morecambe. I think it was Adam Lewis. I think the fourth official must have told the referee to book him there because the referee wasn't looking. And it was definitely a foul off the ball from Mackenzie Hunt. As the ball lifted down the right channel for Morecambe. Can it be kept in by Dackers? It can, but cleared away by Bolton. Only as far as the Morecambe right again, where they go forward with Tollett. Plays it into the space here for Slew. Right on the corner flag. Can he deliver? Gets onto his right foot and clips it in, but again, caught by Harrington. He's dealt with those crosses really well in this game, the Irish goalkeeper. And Fleetwood are still holding on to their 2-1 lead at the moment. But Morecambe have won it back, given away by Broom, I think, that time by Fleetwood. Now the right centre-half for Songo. To Tollett, who took up a right wing-back position. 1-2 with Slew, but it's overhit, but it'll deflect. That's why it gained extra pace. And it will be a throw-in for Morecambe, midway side of the Fleetwood half on the far side. It has been all Morecambe, in fairness, this second half. But again, they've just not done lots with the ball. They've not looked great with it. Still a lot of long balls, but you would do when you've got 6'7" Dackers up front. Lewis throws it short, and the ball is eventually crossed in. It's not a bad ball, but it's caught by Harrington. I'd love to know how many times I've said that so far tonight. Felt like he's caught everything that is gone his way, and he's thrown it out quickly to Broom on the right wing, beyond the halfway line. Into the final third. 1-on-1 with Tutonda. Plays it in behind him and pulled across by Virtue, straight into the gloves there of Moore, who rolls it out to Paul Lewis, who works it to the right centre-back of Songo. Lifts it forward, can't find Dackers, deflects off the back of Bonds and into Dackers. Rather fortunate for Morecambe, but they'll take it. On the halfway line, it's Slew, shielding the ball away from Virtue and playing it over the top down the right wing to Dackers. That's a brilliant ball in. And Dackers can cross it in, and it's a chest towards goal. And Morecambe have their equaliser. This Lancashire derby has been spun on its head here in the second half. On the substitute of Hallam Hope, scores his first Morecambe goal, and what a time to do so. Whatever you want to say about this Morecambe second half performance, they've had the majority of the ball, and they have made sure they've got plenty of crosses in there. Yes, a lot of them caught by the goalkeeper, but that time, that wasn't caught by the goalkeeper. A brilliant ball over the top down the right channel by Slew, and Dackers took his time to deliver it in. It was almost blocked by Bonds, but he just curled it to that near post, and it was just too low for his head, bit too high for an attempt with his foot. So he was just able, from 6 yards out, just to direct it with his chest, bounce it into the ground, into the top right corner. It's one of the smartest finishes you'll see by Hallam Hope, but Fleetwood want to get back in the lead. Broom on the right wing, lifting it to the far post, and he's overhit it. And it's out for a goal kick, and we're all square here at 2-2. What a turnaround from Morecambe. Maybe Fleetwood have given them slightly too much possession in this second half, and it's come back to bite them. Derek Adams will be delighted, and to be fair, Morecambe could do with a third. They need a win. Winless in their opening 6 in the league so far. Dackers flicks on as well to Hope on the right wing in the final third. Goes once more to his right to Tollett, who keeps it in. Tackled by Bonds, and that'll be a throw-in for Morecambe. And if anyone looks like winning it now, it's going to be the away side. What a turn of events here. And it's going to be Adam Lewis from the left-hand side coming over to this right-hand side to launch his ball into the box of his long throw. In it goes to the near post. Header away there for Fleetwood, all as far as the edge of the area with Harrick. Tackled on the edge of the area by Virtue, who brings it away for Fleetwood. He's not got many options with him. Still bursting forward, and the slide challenge goes in from Dackers. And that'll be a free kick just inside the Morecambe half. I'm sure he'll be booked there. Marcus Dackers, the man with the assist. And he made the difference as well, coming off the bench against Colchester in their 3-3 draw. He didn't score, but he made a difference. And he scored again, and he's provided help again here. And they were 2 goals down in their last game against Colchester at home, Morecambe, and scored in the 83rd minute and the 88th, and that was with 10 men as well. It was actually Caden Harrick with the yellow card. I thought it was Dackers with the foul. So it's twice in 2 games where Morecambe have had to come from 2 goals behind to salvage themselves a draw. Well, they are salvaging a draw at the moment as Fleetwood have a header away. And it's now played into space here, and Hope's away. Hope down the left-hand side leaves the ball behind him, but touches it inside away from Johnston. Then plays it out to the right, but plays it behind Slew. Still alive from Morecambe, but it allows Fleetwood to get more bodies back. He tries to play it into the overlap of Tollett, but it's overhit and seen behind there for Graydon. And it's a goal kick for Fleetwood. We're almost at minute 90. We'll have to find out shortly how much time will be added on here at the end of this second half, where it's been a completely 2-half game. Fleetwood dominate the first, Morecambe have dominated the second, and we're all square at 2-2. Long from Fleetwood. Header away back to the goalkeeper there by Lewis to get it there to Moore, as it was the number 11 of Ryan Broom chasing it for Fleetwood. Long ball forward, deep into the Fleetwood half. It's a header away by Johnston. And it's flicked into Broom there off Harrott. And then a tackle, which is fair by Tutonda, and he's buzzing with himself with that tackle. Gets the ball back for Morecambe. And we've hit minute 90. We've got 6 added on there by the 4th official, Edward Duckworth. So 6 more to play. 2-2 in this derby. Do apologise for that noise. As Adam Lewis at left wing back touches it away and gives it to Broom, and then to the space for Harrott, who can't quite beat Tutonda to it, who smashes it out of the play, and it'll be a throw in the final third here for Fleetwood on this near side. Need to keep their concentration here, Morecambe. They don't want to throw away all their hard work and concede late here. Long throw in from Johnston against the near post. Header away from Morecambe. Laid off here to Adam Lewis, who will clear it left-footed up to halfway. And it sticks on Hope. That's brilliant touch on halfway. Keeping it away from Weirdo. And he'll win the free kick, being pulled back by the Fleetwood captain. So, free kick for Morecambe on this near side. Brilliant equalising goal there from Hallam Hope to get his first for his new club, using the chest to direct it goalwards. Adam Lewis, a long diagonal ball to the right-hand side. It's flicked on by Dackers, but dealt with by Bonds. Into the sky it goes. Dackers has got time to let it bounce, and it'll bounce out for a throw-in for Morecambe. The better option for him, because if he had to have controlled that, that would have been a rather dangerous situation for him if he was pickpocketed, as Morecambe work it back into the box again with a long cross. Header away, only as far as Slew, 25 yards out, goes to the right-hand side here to Tollett. 4 minutes left to play. Goes on the outside of the defender and clips it to the far post, where again, it's caught by the goalkeeper. And he's been doing that the majority of the night. David Harrington. As Fleetwood roll it to the left centre half on the edge of the box to Bennett. Lewis turns out and wants to... get me teams mixed up. The Fleetwood number 16 of Mackenzie Hunt has just got that cleared ball out off a Morecambe man for a Fleetwood throw-in, and they've worked it back to the edge of the area to the goalkeeper of Harrington. Can we get a late winner here? That would be fantastic drama to cap off what has been a rather, pulsating night in this Lancashire derby. A heroic turnaround from Morecambe when they looked dead and buried at half-time, playing very poor football. Fleetwood are just killing the Morecambe momentum at the moment, just knocking it around their back three. It's Weirdo to now bring it forward into the Morecambe half, playing it into the middle here. There's a ball in behind, looking for Broom. Instead goes beyond him and goes towards Johnston. Lewis kicks it out for a throw-in again in the final third here for Fleetwood. So another chance for a long throw-in from Carl Johnston. And there's a short option there of Graydon, but he's instead going to just go for the long one instead. In it goes. Headed into the air off Stott. Headed out wide again by Slew. Volleyed by Adam Lewis. Brought down by Weirdo. It's now Mackenzie Hunt from afar who shoots, and it's well wide of the post. Off balance there. Mackenzie Hunt, who actually represents the United Arab Emirates at international level. I'm not joking you. He had 2 spells at the Everton Academy, and he lived in Dubai from 2008 to 2015 due to his dad working in construction over in Dubai. And he's obviously lived in the United Arab Emirates for enough time to grant citizenship. And he made his debut for the international side in the international break just gone, collecting an assist. So that's pretty cool for Mackenzie Hunt, who plays out from the back here on the left-hand side. Bonds, poor ball into the middle. That's a risky one as well. Harrick to the right to Hope, keeps away from Hunt. Tackled by Bonds, who's trying to make up for his error. They both collide with each other, and it drops to Tollett. Into the middle to Hope. Squares it! Cleared away into the sky. Dackers wins the header. And both Hope and Bennett miss it, and it'll run through for the goalkeeper of Harrington. 90 seconds to play. And it's almost Morecambe taking all 3 points. It's Weirdo, the captain, the right centre-half. Down the right channel. It's not a great ball because no one's making the run. And it goes straight through the gut for the goalkeeper. If Stuart Moore. And this is probably going to be that. Maybe one more attack. We've got a minute left to play. Derek Adams in the stands there for Morecambe, looking rather stressed, the 49-year-old. As they go long down the left-hand side, it will go through for a Fleetwood throw-in. But it isn't in their right-back position, so if Morecambe can win it back here, it'll be in a little decent position for him. Throw-in for Fleetwood. Deflects off a Morecambe man, so it'll be another throw-in for the home side. Who were looking like they were going to get 3. Now they're holding on for 1. There's a cheap foul there. He's gone against the Fleetwood man of Ryan Graydon, and he gave a referee a piece of his mind there. So Ryan Graydon booked the man who scored the first goal of this game. But it did seem a bit of a cheap foul to me, but the referee was right in front of it. So it's a free kick on the halfway for Morecambe, where they've just got a chance to absolutely launch this into the box and just see what happens, really. Last roll of the dice. I think the whistle will be blown after this. It's crossed into the area. Header away for Fleetwood. Drops to Tollett on the right-hand side. And that will be that. That's the last action of the game. And in this Lancashire derby at Highbury Stadium, it ends all square. It was a game of 2 halves for sure. Fleetwood took the first half. It was a dominant display from the home side, having so many shots, so many on target as well. And they had a 2-goal lead, 2 of their strikers scoring the goals. It was Ryan Graydon with the first, with 10 minutes left of the first half to play. A diving header from 6 yards out, putting it into the bottom right corner. And they doubled their lead right before the break for Ronan Coughlin. It was a fantastically slipped through ball by Phoenix Patterson and straight into Ronan Coughlin, who beat the goalkeeper to it, lifted it over his left leg, and it gave Fleetwood a very deserved 2-goal lead. But the game completely flipped on its head after half-time. Morecambe, this time with a team with all the possession, Fleetwood sitting back and not even looking that dangerous on the counter-attack. And Morecambe had their comeback starting with 15 to play. Jan Songo with a finish in the 18-yard box. It was a free kick to the edge of the area, headed into the box by the number 11, of Jordan Slew, and Jan Songo followed it into the box and lifted it over the goalkeeper, who came rushing out. And it did give Morecambe that little bit of hope, and that hope turned into ecstasy as they got the equaliser with 4 minutes left of the 90. Hallam Hope off the bench, scoring his first of the season at his new club. A cross from the right wing by Marcus Dackers, and at the near post all alone, he was able, Hallam Hope, to chest it in. Like I said during the commentary, it was a bit too low to head it, and it was a bit too high to get it in with his foot. So he's ended up just going for the chested finish, and it was a beautiful touch. Chested it into the ground, bounced up off the turf beyond the goalkeeper of David Harrington, and they gave Morecambe the equaliser, and they pushed at full time. They were looking like if anyone was going to win it, it would have been Morecambe, but there was no winner in the end, as at full time at Highbury Stadium it finishes Fleetwood 2, Morecambe 2. A massive game of 2 halves there, and it's points shared. Stats in the end: Fleetwood 25 shots, Morecambe 9. Fleetwood 12 on target, Morecambe were 4. but 20 of those 25 shots for Fleetwood were in the first half. So they only had 5 shots in the second half, and 2 of them were on target. And Fleetwood had about 70% of the ball in the first half, and they've ended up with 53% of it in the overall game. So it massively swung on its head in the game in the second half. And it's back-to-back draws for Morecambe in the league. They started the season with 5 straight 1-0 defeats. And even though they've not won yet and they're rock bottom of the table, they've not lost in 2, which will be a positive. I know it's not a win, and they do need to win their first game pretty soon, but at least they've stopped the losing run, and they are starting to pick up a couple of points here and there. But like I say, those 1-point performances need to be turning into 3 sooner rather than later. But that is going to be the end of the live commentary here. Great commentary, Mitch. Thank you very much. If you did enjoy, make sure you like and subscribe before you go. The next commentary will be on Saturday night as Barnsley host Stockport County in League One, and on the Sunday night we'll be commentating on the 2 Madrid teams taking each other on in La Liga as Atletico Madrid host Real Madrid. But for now, on this channel, that'll be the end of this live commentary. And in the first half, it was all Fleetwood, and they had a 2-0 lead, which they thought they were going to see through. But Morecambe, despite having such a poor start to the season, they were able to find some momentum, find some positivity, score 2 goals in the last 15 minutes of the game to somehow scrape a point away here at Fleetwood. It ends all square at Highbury as here. On this Monday night in League 2, it finishes Fleetwood 2, Morecambe 2.